Hello and welcome to the last day of CFS Regional Qualifiers. My name is Julio. I'm going to be your host for tonight, and I have with me this time Mr. Hazem X. We missed you.
I missed you too, man, and of course missed you guys. I'm super excited to be with you tonight, Julio. Honestly, it's been a while since the EWC has finished, and we did see a lot of teams and a lot of teams that now are inspired to continue their path in the hopes of reaching new stages.
Yeah, and like to refresh the memory of the viewers, PingPongPals, Entropy, and TBI, the three teams qualified, and today we're going to figure out who's the last team to qualify from Group B. So this is Group A, PingPongPals, Entropy Gaming, first and second, CANKER, LegendsOP in third and fourth, and PingPongPals, to be honest, they did an amazing job. It feels like they are on a way different level compared to the other teams. Group A is pretty much decided, Entropy, PingPongPals qualifying. So let's take a look at Group B, which is what we are going to look at tonight, because like TBI, yes, they are qualified, but like there's still a fight between REH Gaming and Triple9 who's going to qualify.
I mean, highlighting yesterday, and we did see Penguin and Kushiri speak about the games of Group A. Now, speaking about Group B, TPI, thankfully and finally, they are not struggling anymore to reach the first ranking in their group. Yet still there is time for REH Gaming and Triple9, to achieve another one for them. Triple9 did play 2 games, lost one, won another.
Yeah.
So they have now a chance to, get to that first place. But they have a challenge against the contender of the first place in the group, which is TBI Esports. I mean, it's a bit complicated when you think about it. And hopefully it's good luck for TBI.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard challenge, and these are the games that's gonna be available with us tonight that we're gonna watch. And I just got some like sad news that like CANKER, the FF their game, and LegendsOP they already won by nature. So tonight we're gonna watch match 1 and match 2, TBI versus Triple9 and REH Gaming versus 911. And yeah, it's a pretty interesting day. Until the last moment, we can't really decide who's going to like even TBI, they are like qualified, yes, but like there is like maybe some scenarios that REH Gaming can like get some set differences, some round differences. They can go first. So Triple9, the first match against TBI, it's a very, very hard challenge. You're facing TBI. They are looking very solid. Like together with PingPongPals, and for Triple9, you cannot miss a set. You have to win 2-0.
Exactly. Honestly, coming here, knowing that Crank will play against LegendsOP, I thought, okay, this is a close game. This is a game that's not going to end a clean 2-0 for either of the teams. And now seeing it getting cancelled, sadly, I mean, things like this happen in online games. So let's focus on the positives more, which is TPI and Triple9. Now, as you said, Triple9 wants the first place, and they can get the first place. We did see Triple9 in the West League all along our time and duration in this studio. Triple9 did play in a good way, yet they have the same problem as TPI. How can we close a game, a best of 3 game? How can we win the first and the second game? How can we not make it reach a third game? And even if it reached the third game, what do we have to, accomplish this win, and what do we have to get this win? I think that's the big trouble within the the Triple9 roster, and that's what makes them 90% of the time reach the top, the last 3 positions. Hopefully they reach the top 3 positions. But for TBI, still, against all teams, they love to reach the third map. And if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, TPI are the best fit for Ankara map. They're always there on Ankara, knowing how to play and knowing how to get themselves out of any scenario. And you don't see a lot of teams playing against REH Esports, for example, and reach with them a third map. That's what TPI managed to do, reaching a third map with REH Esports. Of course, after winning Ankara, losing on Eagle Eye, and then losing another map on Subbase.
Yeah, and to be honest, TBI with the new addition, like the new coach and the new like a member coming into the roster, they feel like a more complete team compared to the CFWN, and they're looking very, very scary. And like looking at the key players, Booker, one of like the players that impressed me the most in this tournament, because like he stepped up big time for TBI. On the other hand, CRS for Triple9, he's doing a very, very good job. He's always solid for his team.
Yes.
And like Triple9 yesterday, like it felt like they woke up. Like maybe like let's not say it's a bit too late. They are still in the game. They can qualify. They just need to focus. They need to start the game like focus from the very beginning, because like we know Triple9, they like to miss like some shots in the very first few rounds.
It takes them a while to warm up. It takes them a while, you know, to what's the word, to get into the flow of the game, you know, feel it more and more, to feel like, okay, I'm confident enough to, you know, jump into a third game. But all of the sudden Triple9 is out after the second game because they get, you know, destroyed in the first game. And that's the thing with Triple9, that if I didn't reach a third map, I can't even give you the performance or the gameplay that everyone wishes for. In contrast with TBI, if it's Ankara or sub-base, they can play. Other than these two maps, they always suffer, man. And highlight always, because that's what happened with them almost every scenario in the West League. Hopefully, we had a good off-season for the boys. And now with the regional qualifiers, I expect to see them play. Hopefully we do see a win from TBI at least.
Yeah, I mean, TBI, they always surprise us. And I want to talk about like the map veto. Are we going to see some surprises in there? Because like TBI, they already qualified. Maybe they want to test a few stuff before going into the
knowing that you're qualified, I think that minuses or removes Ankara. I think we would see new maps like Subbase, Eagle Eye, or even Mexico. Who knows from TBI side?
Okay, let's take a look at the map veto to see if we're going to have any new surprises in this matchup between TBI and Triple9. I mean, we saw new compound once before, and
we did.
It was really nice to watch. I mean, it got caught by surprise, and like it's a new addition to the map pool. It's adding like some spices, but I'm not sure if we're going to see it once more. I mean, I hope we'll take a look at the map veto pretty soon to know that.
Hopefully.
But like, okay, we're going to the map veto. TBI versus Triple9. Triple9, they like to play sub-base a lot. So TBI, okay, they banned Black Widow. So sub-base is probably gonna be there for Triple9. I would assume new compound is
that's
banned
the map
by
we wished for.
Yeah, Eagle Eye picked by TBI, and I would assume sub-base. Okay, Port getting picked by Triple9. Okay, some surprises are there.
Yeah, Ankara is banned from TPI side, knowing that they are the best in this map, and yet they banned it. That makes, of course, that decider is sub-base. I mean, it's a bit of a classic rotation for default teams, but knowing that it's TPI playing against Triple9, it's not your normal or common map veto. Eagle Eye picked by TPI. Okay, that's normal. Triple9 picking Port and banning new compound and banning Black Widow. It's a bit of a strange thing for me, and keeping the decider as sub-base. 3 maps, I'd say 3 defaults map. We did see Port coming as the decider hundreds and hundreds of time. Now being the second map, meaning that it will be played nonetheless. I'm super excited. I think it's a new approach from TPI side, at least. Well, it's still a default approach from Triple9.
Yeah, and like for the first map, which is Eagle Eye, I mean, it's the map that TBI looked solid the most on in this tournament. I mean, it was like two games on Eagle Eye, Team 4 and Team 5, so they looked really good on the map. And for Triple9, they did okay on Eagle Eye as well. They played it once, and I think it can be a close map. But again, like Triple9, they need to start like the game from the very beginning. They need to be focused. Diver mentioned in the interview yesterday that he was playing on a laptop, like the first 2 days, and that's why like Triple9 felt like they are a bit off. Yesterday he did amazing. He came back to his setup. He got like the 2.05 KD.
Yes, he did.
He did amazing, and he got the MVP as well. So like maybe Triple9 now they are intact. They are like logged in as a team, and we want to see this from the very beginning.
The struggle, man, of playing on a laptop. Can't even imagine myself in his position. Yes, exactly. And hopefully he had his keyboard and mouse with him, with a small screen of his. Anyways, man, I think it's going to be a great match between Triple9 and TPI. I think we will see a lot of things coming, especially from TPI side, knowing that you are qualified to the next stage, next phase. It removes lots and lots of pressure from your shoulders, so you can test new things, you can try out new approaches, you can try new entries, new outros for you and the team. So that's going to give TPI the room and space they need to, you know, warm up and get ready to play against other teams from other groups, Group B, Group C. And for Triple9 though, a lot on the line for them. A lot on the line for them, and they need every win at least.
Yeah, they definitely do. And the first map is ready, so let's go to REH Shankar to take us to Maba.
Indeed, looking forward to jumping into this final day of the qualifier. Kyle, back on in. You've been on the sidelines for the last couple of days. Kyle, have you enjoyed what you've seen so far?
Yeah, honestly, it's been a good qualifier so far. I feel like there's a lot of up-and-comers kind of proving themselves, but at the same time, we look at a team like this, 999, coming into it. I'd say they've been a bit of an underperformer, but hey, TBI not going to waste any time in this first round. Just a full-force push of aggression into mid. A quick 2-for-2 trade, though nobody really coming out on top just yet, but there's going to be FaZe causing some trouble from the connector, takes it down to a 3-on-1 thanks to Noxon on the support through the box, and there we have it, Jordan, a 20-second round to open it up and set the tone.
Noxon through the box, and yeah, that's what we love to see from TBI. I thought they actually looked really good yesterday. They were quite solid in their game against 911 as well. They've already kind of, you'd think, won this group. It kind of does still depend on maybe how some of these results do go. If they do lose to 999 and REH get themselves a win as well, you know, maybe there's a world where there's a sort of three-way tie, which we have to have a conversation about. But assuming they can get the win here, they've already just easily won this group. And I think they've looked like the best team in this group so far. Over the opening 3 days, 999 have definitely had their ups and downs. They lost to REH. They lost a map yesterday to 911. So I think just in terms of a bit of a power ranking, I'd be leaning on the side of TBI to pick this one up. Obviously see how that plans out, but you know, that opening round, a pretty good indication of maybe the relative strength of these two teams coming in.
Yeah, honestly, Eagle Eye as well. This has got to be TBI's best map right now. They've looked good every series on it so far, so this is definitely theirs to win to kick it off. But CRS, nice headshot to get things rolling. Min able to find another. FaZe spotted on the back line as well. Gets taken down, back turned. Avin, the last one alive already, and 999, they're just going to clean house on the A bomb site.
Well, that's just how quickly it can turn. Looked like a almost done ping for TBI, but Minchin coming out with a massive round for himself. Not really sure what was happening there, but TBI just kind of getting stuck on that rotation and dealt with pretty quickly, so that would be a bit of a rude awakening for them after such a solid opening round that we're now going to find ourselves back in a 1-1 scoreline.
Yeah, Noxon here playing the tricky little angle on the B Hotel, trying to spot the feet of CRS. I think he did get the spot on the other side, unfortunately. Eats a little bit of that flash, not going to work out too well for him, but 999 again, getting themselves a nice entry frag to get the ball rolling. But this seems to be where this team can be very successful. They're not afraid to take these early fights, and I really like that playstyle they bring to the table.
Yeah, most definitely. Trying to be proactive, even on that defense. Has not worked out in this instance, and 4-on-5 is something that TBI are going to have to look to try and negotiate. You have CRS that's just kind of pushing aggressively on the B side of the map. He will be found out by FaZe, and not really a whole lot else spotted over there. So the penny's starting to drop for TBI that this is going to end up being an A hit, so you've got Hunt well prepared. Booker does actually get taken down, and now Hunt really under pressure. Missing that second shot will mean he gets overwhelmed. Transition does come through from FaZe, and he keeps it honest at a 2-2 in terms of the bodies alive, but that's going to go down anyway, so that's good enough as far as 999 are concerned so far in the round.
Yeah, Avin here on the flank as well. Might have a chance to catch them off guard, but I like the setup here. It's going to be QJK underneath, but Head Diver only on 1 HP. Has to be really careful, but gets the kill onto FaZe anyways. Avin, 15 seconds on the clock. Has to make his move here and now. Tries to sneak underneath. Has to get this quick kill on a QJK. Gets it. It's down to the 1 HP 1v1. He's going to find it. Avin, a beautiful 1v2 to get the round for TBI.
Yeah, just by the barest of margins as well. About a second in it. But a nice recovery in that round, considering TBI lost the opening pick. We're kind of overwhelmed on this site as well. I mean, I think you have to remember the importance of that sort of extra kill that FaZe was able to get in on that transition as well, that brought it back to a 2v2. A vastly different story than a 3-on-2 there, but Hunt's just been caught napping as BYK goes up the tower, picks him off, and Booker's gone down as well. That is, I think, already, a bit of a concern for me seeing Booker having a rough day, because yesterday, I would say he was far and away their standout player. But kind of regressing back to the mean here, and so that might make the job a bit more difficult for TBI today.
Yeah, definitely could. Especially in this round, 2v4 situation, not really a whole lot they can do except hope for Avin to frag out here, but that's not going to happen at all. Noxon now left alone, coming out of the GR spawn. That'll be a nice easy one over to 999, but they're having a lot of success so far, it seems, with their aggression, especially towards this A side of the map. But you look at this play here from FaZe, I feel like FaZe, he's been caught out kind of looking the wrong direction a few rounds already here.
Yeah, well, TBI are going to default back to something a little bit quicker this time around, and it is going to work out for them by the looks of it. Players picked off early on. Just jostling for some of that territory is TBI, but not too intrigued or interested in continuing the fight. So, just happy to wait back and let TBI have that space for now. I mean, eventually they're going to have to try and contest, and that's what CRS has tried to do. Hunt takes his head off. And another one for Hunt as well, as QJK will fall. So this round, falling by the wayside quite comfortably. 999, not really being able to find that consistency, but I think you can say the same thing about TBI.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's a very bursty back and forth situation, but maybe there's a chance to get the momentum on their side for TBI, but at least good for one. It's going to be BYK here on the B bridge, looking for more. Gets spotted by Hunt, who is pretty eager to take this challenge again with Noxon. They're going to find the round, and now we'll see if they have a little bit of momentum they can build off of this. I'm liking the mid pushes here. The problem is when they have to play passive, that's where TBI's looked a little shaky so far.
It's again going to be a bit of aggression out from TBI. Not all straight through mid, but definitely a forward hold on A. And somewhat of a forward hold over toward B as well. There's Booker getting involved. Starting to maybe find his feet in this half. And that could be a big portion of where TBI can find their firepower. Another kill for Booker. If he starts to activate the way that he did yesterday, and TBI may start to run away with things.
CRS, though. Nice little backstab onto FaZe, but still a 4-on-1 situation, unfortunately for him. He's going to be spotted out on the B bridge, and TBI finally get the ball rolling more consistently in their direction, and this is where 999, they're going to have to show they can stall this mid-push. It's been 3 times now. TBI is just getting up in their face and making it so difficult to move out of spawn.
Play again for TBI. That is countered by some of the grenade usage from 999, but it still doesn't matter. Even despite that early damage, the shots are coming through, and TBI, well, eventually starting to get overwhelmed. Hunt was not there with them. So now has to try and secure a 1v3. I mean, a lot of damage has been done. He'll take the first kill onto QJK pretty routinely, but has to be aware of that flank coming in behind him. Spots BYK through that smoke, but he's got no idea where CRS is. Hits the shot on the flick, and TBI have won another round. That's a huge clutch from Hunt.
Yeah, that's one of those rounds, if you're 999, you just can't afford to let that slip. But one by one, they give him the opportunity to take a massive lead now for TBI, and FaZe already able to get the kill while half blind here over towards B long. Now they've got the early 5-on-4 to work with. BYK and CRS trying to find their way through, but again, FaZe on the repeat. Good for a second already in the first 20 seconds of the round. Noxon looking to make a play here. BYK thankfully able to get the first on the board for 999. Head diver as well, but Avin on the quick flank, able to keep the numbers strong for TBI for the moment.
Yeah, C4 needs to be retrieved as well for 999. So that's actually going to cost them a little bit of time. They're not too sure if Arvin's still hanging around in hotel now, having maybe spotted him out, but losing QJK for the info to the TRG of FaZe is going to leave Head Diver with a 1v3 ahead, and Hunt was able to pick up a 1v3 in the last round, so let's not count Head Diver out of this one. This early kill onto Arvin will give him a lot of time to work with in the 1-on-2.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you're TBI, it's all about making sure you get the trade here. They're going to go for the double push on A long. They've got the right read on the situation. And FaZe, he's going to be good for his 4th kill on the round. A big round from FaZe here, really finding the early entries, supporting the rotation as well. And really just making life difficult here for 999, and this is where they might just start to pull away from it. It's already a 6-2 game. Looking at the end of the second half, it could be a 7th round if FaZe can keep this up. Head Diver under pressure. Again, the mid push just so strong from TBI here.
2 for 2, though. Not exactly the best result in the world. There's going to be the swing in from Min. He should have been punished quicker than that, but does at least get traded by Hunt. So round is still hanging in the balance here as Hunt looks for another kill. He just keeps on swinging. This guy goes again. BYK waiting for him. Knows exactly where he's going to be coming from, which now means Arvin has to get this done solo. He's going for the long transition all the way back through the A site rather than through mid. So he's going to work in through GR spawn, which will allow him to close the gap a little bit, play a little close range angle. Be slightly more favorable with the M14. Has now spotted out CRS. Pre-fire around the corner is not going to be enough. So one more on the board at least for 999 to end the half.
Yeah, a bit of a sloppy one, though, I would say. I mean, you have Hunt kind of over-peaking there onto the B gondola, so a little bit risky here, but they've got the numbers to play with, so I don't necessarily blame them for trying to continue this aggression. It's been what's getting them the lead, so we'll see if they can keep it up. Right now, though, TBI 6-3 going into the second half. They've got a nice lead, and they're going to try and capitalize here with an aggressive play out in mid. QJK, though, on the trade, able to take down Avid, gets Hunt as well, and that is a huge hold on the mid push. Now, BYK as well, from above on the B bomb site, able to take down Booker. FaZe left alone. It's a 1v4 that's just not meant to be.
Yeah, real back and forth battle this game of Eagle Eye, isn't it? And TBI is certainly not slowing down the pace now that they're on the BL side. They try to go about as quickly as they have been on the GR side. They are trying to overwhelm 999 with pace, but frankly, 999 often like to employ that kind of style themselves, so not going to be too perturbed by that fact. Noxon this time running over Head Diver, but Arvin and Hunt both going down early on in the piece. QJK getting a lot of opportunities, but eventually gets shut down. Now 3-on-2. The A site somewhat has been taken, though. There's a quick creep back in there from Minchen. It was covered off by FaZe. BYK now has to get this done alone against a trio of TBI players, and he's gone hunting already to look for an opener. FaZe is going to give it over to him, and Noxon goes down as well. That was a good effort from BYK, but not enough today.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just came down to this mid-exchange. They had Min getting caught on the early lurk back into sight, and a 3v1 just not going to be in the cards that time. So, at this point, 3 away from a victory already for TBI on map number 1. Looking just as good on the BL side of things. We'll slow the pace down just a little bit here, though. Throwing some early utility out towards B long, trying to draw out a player maybe in this mid position. But again, they're going to go bursting through the mid doors. They've done it 2 rounds in a row here, but CRS this time going to go right through the smoke, picks up the triple kill, and now it's already a 1v4 situation for Booker. Things not looking so good for TBI here.
No, don't imagine the Booker's going to be able to pull this one off. But he's going to have a crack. That's got the time. Ooh. Would have been spotted out there by CRS. Minchen coming through here as well. Loses his life, but easy trade. Gets it done. All's well. That ends well for 999 in that round.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting choice there, putting that early pressure consistently on the mid doors. It's probably the most difficult choke point to push through on this map, so hopefully they change things up a little bit here. They're starting to lose that momentum we saw towards the end of the first half, and now 999 has a real chance of fighting their way quickly back into this game if they can play their cards right. But this time, TBI setting up for a slow A execution. They've got 3 players already working in that direction, the C4 as well. In the hands of Noxon, ready to go. QJK going to be flashed out of position. They still have to take the repeat to try and find an advantage in this round, but Noxon and Hunt just go swinging for the fences here. Hunt good for 2. Noxon goes down, but QJK, he falls off the map after getting the kill onto Avin. Unfortunate timing there. He thought he had the fadeaway, but faded a little bit too far there.
Yeah, certainly. Well, that's a spanner in the works, definitely for 999, as it will give TBI the player advantage. Minchen's been spotted out here in mid as well. Looking for the fight. Happy to just put that C4 on the ground and get the timer working in the favor of TBI. But no secrets here as to where TBI have set themselves up. So 999 already prepared for the retake. They're trying to have a bit of a look and change their position up as a duo, working their way back through toward BL spawn, and he's just watching for that. So Inchen goes down pretty quick. Smart BYK playing a dangerous game if he's going to contest this cult, but he's got no other options with 10 seconds left. He had to try. And 8-5 will be the score for TBI as they put one more on the board, starting to get in the position to close this game out.
Yeah, really tough round here. You can see it again. Just that slight misstep on the jump cost them a lot in that round because QJK, he had the positioning to continue holding on to that A bomb site. Unfortunately, not going to work out for 999, but still some time left to try and get that redemption before it's too late. 8-5. The score on the board here, Noxon taken down early by Head Diver over towards the B bomb site. UIK as well on the repeat underneath, able to find himself a kill as well to make this one an early 3-on-5. Now the remaining players on the BL side going to be kind of left to their own devices here, split across the map, one in each lane, trying to find an early kill. Booker runs into trouble though. CRS gets the early kill onto him. Now it's a 2-on-4 situation as Avon does have a chance at the A bomb site, but QJK shuts it down quickly.
TBI doing it a little bit more tough in this second half. Really feels as though we're kind of going a bit tit for tat, right? One round here, one round there. A little bit of a whiff there on Dimension, but round was unlikely to be won anyway. Right to 8-6, and 999 are putting up a decent accounting of themselves on Eagle Eye thus far.
Yeah, it's certainly not over just yet. TBI have to keep their composure if they want to hold on to the lead. FaZe gets a good start for them, but Head Diver, unfortunately, the timing on that trade just not going to work out. But Booker starting to show up here in the second half. Gets a nice second kill as well. FaZe good for his second on the round to top it off. Now it's going to be just UIK here, stuck behind the smoke, but Noxon, I think, may have spotted him on the edge, trying to sneak in. He's going to find the kill on the quick trade. And now we're on to map point.
Noxon having fun jumping off the map there as well. Match point indeed, or map point at least, it has to be said here. 999 with 3 in a row required. Try to get it to OT. I can't imagine that's going to happen. TBI again going to throw something a bit quicker in. It's a 1-for-1 trade for CRS. No more than that though, as QJK tries to go backing away, and he'll be caught up with. TBI not having too much difficulty in this round. They have just steamrolled over 999, and you got to respect TBI for the playstyle that they've brought in this game. It has just been balls to the walls aggression almost every single round. I mean, despite the fact that this is actually a reasonably close score, it'll be 10-6. This has felt like one of the faster maps of Crossfire we've seen in a long while, and that's an easy one in the end for TBI. So take a bow. Eagle Eye goes their way.
Yeah, 3 for 3 on Eagle Eye throughout this stage for this team. So TBI really showing what they can do full force in this first map. There was a few moments where it was a bit shaky, but by the end of it, it felt like they were really keeping their composure and hitting their stride. And that's what you need to do here if you want to be one of those teams that can go through to the next stage and really prove you have what it takes to contest that next stage of the competition. Because realistically, Jordan, if you don't have an almost uncontested run in this first stage, it's hard to think you're going to make a big dent when you think about the regional finals coming up for the teams who make it through.
Yeah, 100% have to agree with you. We'll see if the analysts agree as well. It's time for us to send it back over to the desk. So fellas, take it away. Oh, never mind. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. I think they might be taking a little break or something, as tends to be the case, Kyle. You know, these guys, can't trust them. But look, as far as I'm concerned, at this stage, yeah, I think TBI have definitely looked like the best team in the qualifiers so far, and it's just a case now for them of like crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and getting the job done and finishing things off here, which is, I imagine, what they're going to try and hope to do here in map 2. But the desk is now ready, so we'll send it back over there.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Alfish. And yeah, TBI managed to win the first map, and by this map win, they secure the first place, because like right now REH Gaming cannot get the first seed because there is like 3 sets difference.
Man, knowing that they have the first place, knowing that they are the first on their group, knowing that they are 100% qualified, they don't even need to play this match, and yet coming in and showing everyone that they have what it takes is just mesmerizing to see and super nice to see from TBI side. Now, keep in mind, 999 did give us a good gameplay from their side. We did see a spray in the smoke from CRS. We did see some good impact and good playstyle coming from 999's side. Yes, they feel a bit shaky. Yes, they feel a bit disconnected from each other. But that's classic TBI, 999 from my perspective. They always lose the first game, whether it's their map or the opponent map. And in that case, it was TBI pick for the first map. Thing is, there is no certain player, a specific player that I can tell or I can say that, oh, he underperformed or oh, he played in the different scenario. No, I think the 5 of 999 did not give us the conclusion that we hoped or wished for. At least a good enough game or good impact coming from their side. Who, you know, keep the game close. It felt like a one-sided game at the end of the day. I don't know if you agree with me, but the early game from 999, it was nice because the game did start 2-for-2. CRS and Mention, we did see them showing off from the start of the game, good skills, but within the mid to the late game, it's just TBI world that we are living in. It's just round after round after round, and with different clutches that just kills the momentum and kills everything that you try to build. I mean, we did see Booker coming with it, phased the same scenario. The amount of highlights that might end with the 2v2, 2v1, yet TBI clutches one time after another, just make your team shaky, whether it was 999 or TBI or even REH Esports. You just have to lose 3 or 4 rounds in a row just to break the momentum.
Yeah, and to be honest, like I felt like TBI, like they were locked in from the very beginning. I mean, 999, they're used to the slow start, and in the first half, the thing is, like we always said, and we were talking about this, me and Bingwin yesterday, that 999, like they are really good on the blacklist side, and like they started blacklist, and like they finished the first half at 3-6. So like going into the global risk, into like the side that like it's not their main strength, it puts a lot of pressure on them, knowing that you cannot let this map go. So like right now 999, like they know that like their chances are getting lower and lower since like they lost like the first set, and going into port, which is our next map, like they need to step up. They need to like show us the 999 that we saw in the second and third map yesterday. And looking at the stats, Hunt and FaZe, they are doing amazing. That's what's impressive about TBI, because like you cannot really like decide who's the star of this team,
And
because
you can't
like
predict.
yeah, in this map it's Hunt and FaZe. In the last map it's Booker. In the map before that it's Noxen.
Exactly.
So like, the whole roster is really good.
Exactly, and that's what makes TBI super solid. And I think when you have 5 players, the 5 of them are playing. So FaZe doing the sniper job, Noxing doing the lurking job, even covering the A side, Booker on the B side, and Hunt keeping the team all intact as the IGL. I think that all adds up for TBI and makes them the team, the solid team that they are right now. And for 999, it's I wouldn't say the opposite, since 999 still have not found their ground in this group. Thing is, they have a chance to qualify here, 999, but yet they are losing every important match for them. Keep in mind, it's only the first map, and add on that it wasn't their map pick. They haven't choose the first map, yet they choose the second one. Now, what's the odds or what's the chances for 999 to qualify? They did lose this map 10-6, but they showed us hard. They showed us that they can go on and take off the next map.
Yeah, 100%. And like their hopes are still alive, because like even if like they lose the game and like they get to one set, and like surprisingly REH Gaming, for example, lost 0-2, so like they qualify. So like every set matters for them. Like even like, I mean, winning the whole game is really important, but like even if you get one set, it's really important for you as 999. And going into port, like what do you think they should do differently compared to the first map to manage to win a team like TBI, because like to be honest, TBI and PingPongPals, they look unstoppable in this round.
I mean, if anything, you have to stop FaZe and you have to stop Boker, both of these guys. You have to utilize your smokes, your flashes in a better way. So we do see some teams, especially 999, just enter the site, push. It feels like a push with no strat, or a full push on A side, full push on B side with no strats, with no straight plan that we are going to play on it. We do see a lot of teams play it slow, play to the last 10 seconds, rotate to A. You know, make some distractions, make some chaos on the site, some chaos on the map. But no, I don't see that from 999 side. Every time the round starts, FaZe with it with a sniper, kills one, so it's now a 4v5. Why does that happen? I don't know exactly for 999, but I think they should utilize their smoke, stop the vision of, close the vision of the sniper, try to flank, do some distraction on A side, then go B, come back to A through the mid, do all of that games. So I think if they play an intact, they might get a second win.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, map 2 is ready. Elfish and Kai take us there.
I would love to. Let's see how this one plays out. A bit of back and forth, obviously, there about whether or not 999 can get anything done in this series. My 2 cents, Kyle, is that I just don't think 999 have hit a good enough level in this qualifier to really convince me. The games that I've seen from them over the last couple of days haven't really done enough, and going down in that fashion on map 1 as well. But they have their moments, they have their rounds. They don't seem like they've got quite enough to get themselves a win in this matchup, in my opinion. So I'm going all the way with TBI.
Yeah, I'd have to agree here. It just looked really shaky even at the best of times in that first map, and especially with the GR for TBI to kick this one off, it's only going to be that much harder, and you can see it in the opening round here. 2 players already down and out. The 999 side, now BYK, QJK, and Head Diver have to find their way to fight back and try and get something done here. They do have a little bit of an exposure they could maybe play with towards the middle of the map, but FaZe going to catch on to that, rotates into a position to help out Noxon. They secure themselves a 3rd kill already to get things started. BYK able to get himself a nice 2-piece entry actually over onto the bomb site here. It's actually 3. And this could change things up very quickly. Noxon has to sneak into position to try and cancel this play, but BYK already finds a 4th.
This is crazy from BYK. It could be the ace to start the match off. Oh, Booker brings it to an end before it gets too exciting in the end, and TBI will end up winning that round, but that's a good effort from BYK. And just finding and isolating all of these 1v1s. This was a great shot onto FaZe. But not enough. TBI reigning supreme at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, for 999, they've just got to find that way to unlock that extra little bit of team chemistry. You can see the individual firepower is definitely there for this team. It just seems like they're a little bit disjointed when it comes to playing in synergy. So we'll see if they can change things up here in the second round. They had some decent potential there with BYK in the first. Maybe you can find them a nice little opening pick or 2 here in the second. This time, FaZe changing up his position a little bit. He's going to be playing on the top of A, looking for that A-long entry, potentially onto Head Diver here if he keeps poking out a little bit. But this is where 999 is going to slow down the pace a bit. And it's something we see pretty often here on Port. When a team feels like they're having trouble contesting, they tend to just run down the clock quite a bit.
Well, that is exactly what's happening here for 999. I don't really blame them, or at least maybe hoping that with this time that they're giving up, they could give BYK a chance to find a pick. He had a pretty nice opening round. You know, he seems like he's in pretty good form to start off the map. So see if he can maybe swindle something. But there's just no actual peaks being taken by TBI that will enable that fight. Arvin, very progressed here on the A site, by the way. And it doesn't look like he's going to be checked. He's going to go over the top. He doesn't hold on to that trigger finger. Could have maybe gotten 2 if he had. But either way, the early exchange is good enough for TBI that they have got themselves a 4-on-3. Well, they will give up that site control, so that is something that 999 can take heart in.
Yeah, the downside here being the retake is already quickly on the move, but BYK He's got the key position to maybe stall things out a little bit from the lower A connector drop. Hunt and Noxon, they're both right outside of it, and they're going to have to make sure they get this trade very quickly, but they're actually kind of taking a little bit too long here. Hunt jumping over the top. Noxon goes down as well at 999. They're able to hold on almost perfectly in the post plant.
Yeah, we'll take it. I'm happy with that. It's isolated on the spacing there, TBI, and that's going to give a bit of confidence to 999, so they're going to try and go a bit faster this time around, straight into Warehouse. They've already lost her diver. Now, no one coming for the quick flank in through middle, but TBI definitely have their defenses set up nicely on B, so actually, I would say a pretty good call to cancel there for 999. If they go charging into B, I reckon they just run into a mincemeat.
Yeah, it would have been a tough one to actually pull all the way through. They still seem like they might double back down in this direction, though. The C4 hanging out in the lower B tunnels. 2 still holding on to the back of B barn as well. So it seems like they still want to recontest here. You can see Min starting to sneak up here with CRS onto the corner here. But TBI, they're only down to 2 players on the defense. Booker, a lot to deal with along with Hunt on the back of site here. Hunt, though, almost taken down along with Minchen on the other side, having to back off here and not risk losing any more in terms of numbers. So it'll be a bit of a reset here as they kind of rethink the approach.
Yeah, very much slowed it down. Still looks like they want to be finished. C4 set up at Warehouse right now. You've kind of got QJK just poking his head around mid, seeing if he can find a pick. It's not going to happen, so he will reroute and go back to join the rest of the forces. BYK also waiting for a pick if someone's pushing their way down long, but there's no reason for TBI to be doing that. They don't need to be hunting for info when they're down on numbers already, 999, so eventually they're going to pull the trigger, and that is just going to fall to bits. Absolutely nothing coming from that round for 999. And BYK will be finished off unceremoniously as well. So 2-1 the score. Good round for TBI just to bounce back.
Yeah, TBI doing a really good job of locking down the middle of this map. It's going to come down to, I think, some solid A-long execution here. 999, they're going to see if they can do it. They were able to do it once already on this map, but this time around, Avon and FaZe, good for a nice 2-piece to start it off. QJK down to 1 HP as well, and FaZe, he's just holding the line to perfection here. Hunt swings in, get the job done, and that's just a quick, nice round for TBI.
Yeah, love that from them. 3-1. Scoreline starting to look a little bit more solid on that GR side. The round's also looking pretty solid. I think just eye test-wise, TBI don't seem like they're having too much difficulty here on the GR side, which is quite a positive sign for their chances of going 2-0. And if they're able to do that, you know, we'll look at their run here in this stage of the qualifier as being a very clean one. And just have to sort of raise some eyebrows going forward, but Wilson goes down early on in this round, so a bit of hard work to be done going forward now for TBI in closing this round out.
Yeah, a lot of this one's going to come down to Hunt potentially here in this position. Has to try and contest DRS for control of the B tunnels. The rest of the team, though, for 999, not going to be really nearby to support, but CRS able to find one, the late trade there from Hunt. So all said and done, not the worst case scenario. Min as well, being on 10 HP, makes this a very close situation as the bomb works its way into mid. But Avon, he's the key here to holding on to it. He's going to be good for it. Finds the double kill. FaZe as well, able to take down one on long. And again, it's all down to BYK.
Yeah, he's not been given too many easy positions, has he? A lot of the clutches falling on the shoulders of BYK, and those are always going to be tough to get by. Now, Hunt is presenting an opportunity here as a solo individual, but he's spotted BYK out, and he's actually going to play the sort of more reserved approach, drops a flash in his face, and allows BYK to come to him. Another one on the board for TBI, even despite losing the opening pick or two, they're able to convert that round, and that continues to compound the issues for 999 as TBI just looks super comfortable.
Yeah, at this point, if you are 999, you've got to find a way to disrupt and break through at least 3 or 4 rounds needed on this BL side to really feel like you've got a fighting chance to take into the second half. It does tend to lean slightly in favor of the GR, so it's not impossible to bring back when they get over to that side of the map, but they've got to get that momentum rolling now if they want to give themselves that solid chance at it. So for this round, it's going to be all about finding that potential opening pick, and that's where things have been a bit of a struggle here for this team. This time, though, it's actually Avin with the sniper in hand who goes down to BYK. Hunt as well on the late rotation. Not going to find anything. Booker having to try and pick up the pieces here. Good for at least a first entry, but that box shot is able to take him down very quickly. At least Noxon, though, on the rotation from Bridge was able to get a trade there, but it's still a 3-on-2.
Over the top. Not going to cause too many problems there for Noxon. He almost gets Head Diver on that cross, but the plan will go down nonetheless. So looking for that fight, and BYK catching Noxon as he eventually does start to properly commit to the retake. 999 get another one back. And a lot of the success is actually coming off of the TRG. Work obviously done by the riflers there, but the opening pick and pretty much the one that closes the round as well come from BYK. Not too surprising to see 999 actually going back into the double TRG setup.
Yeah, I think for them, it might be their best bet at finding the early kills they need to get back in front of this one. 2 to 4, still recoverable for them as well if they can find a nice third round on the board here. Keeps it nice and close, but at this point, it's been kind of the story of BYK having to be the player to open that up with CRS. The rest of the 3 players combined here for a 999 only sitting at 3 kills on the bottom 3, so definitely would like to see a little bit more from Min and Head Diver in this one. Normally, very key entries for this team, a little bit silent.
Over the top here, and there's a couple of players still up on that site, but not for long. QJK and BYK finding the entries, but it's not just the entries that they're going to have to grab. They're going to have to deal with these rotations as well. Arvin is going to be able to cover off that C4. This is going to be a very difficult bomb to retrieve for 999, particularly with that damage coming through from Booker. BYK is lucky to be alive.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one now. They need to keep BYK alive for that potential trade, but QJK, he's actually going to catch Avin on the A bomb site. That's a great way to get things going in their direction, but Booker almost able to find him on the re-peek, getting caught a little bit off guard here. BYK on the late jump over the mid-bridge as well. Could have the perfect timing to disrupt here, but Booker knows something's up, goes for the quick peek, knows QJK is stuck here behind the boxes, doesn't even need to necessarily take an aggressive fight, but he's going to go for it anyways, and he's going to be completely punished. QJK gets a big one.
Yeah, and Booker had every opportunity to close that one out, unable to do so. I thought when he gets the kill on the BYK, I thought surely, but a bit of an overcommitment from him in the end. And so TBI will let slip a third round, and this BL side is starting to come together somewhat for 999. You already get to the pass score of 3. Maybe can go even further than that. I have to lock in right now.
Yeah, for TBI, just a little bit of overconfidence seems to cost them time and time again. So hopefully this time around they've learned their lesson and can kind of lock in, as you say, and get it done. But for 999, they're already running into trouble this time around. It's going to be Booker and Hunt taking a more proactive approach on this mid-fight. Finding the early kill, able to fall back untraded as well. Hunt taking a little bit of damage there, chipped through the mid doors, but here comes the re-engage towards the B bomb site. This is where 999 knows they have to make an aggressive play to try and settle the score here and get some numbers on their side, but the rotation's already here from Booker to try and swing wide with Noxon. They're going to be good for 2 between them. Head Diver, unfortunately, that flash is going to be devastating. Hunt on the retake, able to find a nice entry for himself, and BYK, again, the lone warrior.
Yeah. Unfortunate reality of this round sinking back in for 999. Just at that point where they're really starting to pressure the half. And then immediately another clean one coming through for TBI. Hunt gets the better of BYK. 5-3 will be the score, and TBI Of course, they're going to be looking for 6. I think at the end of the day, they really do need to get to 6. But that avenue back in for 999. Decent enough, but QJK was not expecting the firing squad on A long. Jumps around the corner, gets deleted, and immediately 999 facing a 4v5 for this final round of the half.
Yeah, I like the quick boost decision here as well. Sneaking Booker into the A connector could pay off really well for them in the late portion of this round. The rest of the team, though, for 999, just slowly working their way towards B, but look at the swing now they can have because of Booker's positioning. They're able to play a little bit more forward on this mid control. Hunt just holding on to that retake B position as well, and this is where it puts a lot of pressure onto 999 to make a move, to try and get something aggressive to pan out for themselves. It's going to be that mid push, but they're going right into a pinch, and they don't even know it. Noxon able to find the first. UIK very late to the party here, needs to find something. He's good for the first, looking for a little bit more this time around, though. He's not going to find a whole lot. Now it's all on to Head Diver, but there's no way he's going to win this one. 6-3 at the half for TBI.
Yeah, nicely played round by Hunt. That's actually a couple of crucial kills coming through from him under pressure. I think the rotation actually was coming through a little bit late there from TBI, but luckily the B hold was strong enough that it wasn't necessarily too relevant anyway. Now it's TBI moving over to their BL side themselves. Early nade into Warehouse is going to give CRS a little bit of a tickle. And Arvin also has taken a lot of space. He's taken a bit of a risk here, but I think it's going to work out. Look at this. Look at the cross that he's being able to get. Oh, just isn't able to win his duel. And that is where it starts to fall apart. If he was able to get across, that was round over at that point. TBI now have to put in the hard yards to try and win it. Booker gets a double back. But they're not going to be prepared for the flank coming in behind. Or maybe they are. CRS actually gets found out by FaZe. He's now in the 1-on-2. QJK giving him an isolated duel. But one that will not be won by FaZe anyway. So TBI concede the first round of the second half.
Yeah, a bit of a tough one there. Avin just getting caught on the timing from the bridge peak. He had the positioning, but he couldn't hang on long enough. Now it's going to be TBI looking to try and do a bit more of the same here. Eyes set on that A bomb site. QJK almost taken down early again. This time, though, going to be a bit of an early rotation. Hunt just goes swinging for the fences here. Able to find himself a double kill. BYK isolated now on the top of the A bomb site. Only going to be good for one from this position before getting traded down. And this is the entries they were looking for here. CRS spotted by FaZe as well. Taken down in the A connector. Head Diver. Early spot on long into spawn. He's actually able to find himself a nice headshot there through the smoke. Avin having to be careful, not giving up too much risk here. It's only 9 HP left on Head Diver. They've got the positioning to take him down as well here. So should be a nice, easy one if they can hang on. But TBI, this is where I get a little bit worried for them, Jordan. They love over-peaking when they've got the advantage.
They do. They do. Doesn't look like that's going to happen in this instance. And again, you're kind of getting that same brand of Crossfire from TBI, aren't you? You talk about the aggression and how Hunt's just kind of sent it in that round. It was Hunt this round, Arvin last round, TBI bringing the pace on the BL side. And again, they're going to go aggressive. This time into Warehouse. Arvin with the C4 is just going to go charging forward. He didn't even stop after getting that opening pick. Wanted to just blow his way out onto the B side. Hunt doesn't quite get his timing right on that transition in through middle. So TBI suffering some losses, but I've got a couple of very low HP players, which will make this a winnable round.
Yeah, a lot of this is going to come down to that rotation decision here. Noxon eager to challenge the mid doors, but QJK is right here on the other side, ready to go. Hits the first on to Noxon. Now the question is, do they commit to the fight? They're going to go for it full force. FaZe quickly there to secure the headshot. Now they've got control towards the A bomb side as well. CRS with 20 HP is really the only player who can stop this one, but thankfully he's able to find at least one before going down. Booker now left in a 1-on-2 situation, has some time to play with though. Minute 20 on the clock to get the C4 planted. He's looking for an isolated pick here. The timing from Min though could be perfect just after the missed spot. He's able to sneak up into this A cubby and maybe go for the repeat on the long, and the timing from 999 couldn't be better on that one.
Well, continues to go back and forth. really do that. 999 ready to receive this aggression from TBI. They had the players where they needed them. It ends up being a 1-for-1. TBI just not going to stop. I mean, they're starting to become a little bit readable, I would say, here. He might need to take attack timeout. That's a nice double from FaZe, but he needs way more than that. Oh, no! He's got all 4. That is unreasonable. How does he get away with that? I mean, you could see the world. They were lining up for him, but he should not have been allowed to live there. 42 HP as well. I mean, they weren't even close to killing him.
Yeah, I mean, that's a decisively tough round. That could be a bit of a tilter here for 999. That was their opportunity to be right back in striking distance, and now TBI, they're signaling the end after that clutch. It's going to be a 3-for-1 on the B tunnels. UIK has to be the hero this time around once again for his team, but it's only going to be 1. That's not enough to hold on to this map, and already QJK, he is left back against the wall, naded down to 20 HP, and TBI, they can see the writing on the walls. It's a match point opportunity on the way.
And 9-5. TBI have just accelerated, haven't they? In the last couple of rounds, off the back of that clutch from FaZe, it looks like this map is no longer in contention by 999. Big fight happening on long. No shots connecting onto QJK. Eventually, he's brought down low, but not finished off. There's a fight in middle. There's grenades over the top. There's everything happening at the moment. BYK has been given time to transition across and ensure that the site gets locked down for now. Boost back up for FaZe. Ugar continuing to take a bit of a look in here, but FaZe is going to be the one that has to make the difference. He finds and catches CRS in mid. Things are going to slow down now. Off the back of that, Minchen goes down to Booker. This round was looking good for 999 at one point, but BYK, the guy that has been trying to pull them kicking and screaming through this map, has lost his 2 teammates in that meanwhile. Now at 17 and 11, he's going to have to go to 19 and 11 to keep this game alive for 999. He might have even been spotted out there by FaZe as well. I don't know that he was. Now certainly has been, and that's a quick scope from FaZe, who will finish it off for TBI, and a nice, easy dub today for TBI to secure a 3-0 group. They match what PingPongPals were able to do yesterday. They take the group very comfortably without even dropping a map, and it's a really good sign. That's a really positive result for TBI. I know they, do get a little bit beaten up in CFWL by some of the better teams in the West League, but you drop them down a peg, and it's pretty obvious why they're in the CFWL as opposed to in CFOL or any of these like tier 2 leagues or anything like that. They are just a little bit better.
Yeah, honestly, it's just that clutch factor of difference. You look at these 2 maps, there was a lot of close rounds, but in those post-plant situations, that is where TBI was really able to elevate themselves. And I'm sure if you're a 999, you're going to be looking back at that 1v4 from FaZe for quite a bit of time now. So we'll go ahead and throw it to the desk to break it down and see their thoughts on that one after the 2-0.
Clean 2-0 from TPI,
Wow.
and right now 999 need to wait for REH Gaming match
Exactly.
to keep their hope alive. But they had their the matters into their own hands, and they couldn't take a set. They couldn't take a game, and to be honest, it felt like TPI, they are on a different level.
I wished that my dreams did come true, and we did see 3 games coming from 999 side, because I thought that 999 had a lot to show. And I thought that 999, okay, yes, they did lose the first game, but coming into the second game now, they did leave a blueprint in the first game, and I just thought that they had more to show, especially within the early rounds, and it was going back and forth between the 2 teams. And for 999, yes, the mid-game and the late game, they do struggle a lot in it, but most of the clutches, I think 999 can clutch. They can offer some good gameplay here and there. I mean, I remember round 7 for 999 for them. We did see 2 quick scopes coming from FaZe, and then a re-smoke to the mid side from another player from CRS. I think it was, or mentioned. I'm not entirely sure. And then close round from 999, I think it was 3v2, and then a clutch came from TBI. So big question, how can you have the upper hand and the lead with the numbers of individuals from 999 and yet lose the round? I think they don't have the element of finishing the round, and they feel more disconnected, I think it's the word to say, from Triple Nine side. A lot of things to highlight. I mean, FaZe had a big overshadow on Triple Nine Sniper. I think that was a bit obvious, especially on the mid of the map. Most of the highlights are FaZe's, by the way. So I think that also had a good impact. And yes, TPI always, you know, managed to have a gap, 3 or 4 rounds between them and Triple Nine. But Triple Nine, more than once, they had their hands on a comeback. Like, it was 3-2-2, that's first, 6-4, that's another. What I want to say is the potential is there, yet a lot to work on within the micro and the macro gameplay for TPI side.
Yeah, and like looking in the KDs, it felt like I mean, other than BORK, like no one from Triple Nine really had like his moments inside the game, let's say. And TPI, like in terms of the firepower, they just they kept hammering throughout the whole map, to be honest. And like it felt like no one could have stopped them. I mean, there was a lot of fist fighting all over the map, and like whenever you look at the highlights, even. TBI always end up on top most of the times, and this is what makes the difference between a team like TBI and a team like Triple Nine. And like you said, most of the highlights was FaZe's, and FaZe is the match MVP of this set or this game between TBI and Triple Nine. He's doing amazing, and I was even telling Penguin yesterday, like whenever we were talking about TPI and the CFWI, we're talking about FaZe and Hunt mainly, and like right now we're talking about Booker, we're talking about Avin, the new addition, and like to be honest, the whole roster of TPI is looking scary, and I think this is a clear message for the teams in the regional finals. Do not underestimate TBI. They are coming in, and they are coming in strong, and they can even compete to qualify for the CFS.
Yes, I do agree. I do agree that they have what it takes. In contrast from the first season, when we did see them in the West League, I thought TBI did not have what it takes to, you know, qualify into the further stages and see more of them. But now I can say confidently that okay, TBI actually do have what it takes to, you know, give us a good gameplay and a good show within the next stages. Now, the big question is, can TPI take it further and further and further into the quarters?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. Like, I hope that TPI like show us like even more strength in the regional finals. Hopefully. Because like you're facing some teams like that are way stronger than the teams that are in this tournament. And like to be honest, TBI and PingPongPals, these two teams, they are feeling pretty good. They feel really great. And like we have an interview with Avin from TBI. We want to congrats you on the win, Avin, and we want to welcome you to the TBI roster and to the qualifiers. How do you feel after this one?
We feel amazing. I really want to thank all of my teammates for doing all the hard work, and my coach, Yask, of course, he teach me a lot of stuff, and Hunt and my teammates, all of them like supported me and helped me like get through, like, you know.
Yeah, yes. I mean, you guys are looking amazing, to be honest. I mean, TBI, like they look upgraded compared to the CFWIs. They were already doing amazing, but like you coming in now and like the coach joining in, the roster looks really good. And like for the 999 matchup, did you feel like the matchup will be an easy one? Did you feel like 999 will give a fight, since they are fighting for the second spot for the groups to reach the regional finals?
No, actually, like, we know that we're gonna win like 100%, like no matter what it takes. Yeah, like I'm really confident. Yeah, so we know like we do all the hard work and stuff like that, you know. So we just know like we're gonna win, you know. So I'm just like waiting for the regional final to just do our best and try to qualify to CFS.
Yeah, I mean, coming to the regional final yesterday in the interview with Gainer, like I asked him if there is a certain team that he wants to face in the regional finals or he wants to avenge against. For you as Avin and for you as TBI, do you have a certain team in mind that you're looking to play
I really
against?
wanted to play against 3P. I wanted to play against Peter.
Okay.
I wanted to smash him like so bad. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, PingPongPals are qualified and you guys are qualified, and we're looking forward. Let's hope that you and Vitro face each other, and we want to see this matchup. We want to see you, Avin and TBI, facing all the other teams in the regional finals. Once again, congrats, Avin, and
Congratulations, man.
Thank you
very much.
Okay, you just want to smash
Yeah.
Petro.
Yeah, there is some.
I
little
love
beef
the
between
drama
teams.
coming,
Yeah.
not the drama, the beef. This, you know, I wanna,
banter.
yeah, the banter, the funny factor, and yet there's this competitive side of it and a jokey side of it. I wanna destroy this guy. I wanna play this
Yeah.
against this team, and then you interview the other team saying, "Oh, he wanna kill me. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's
I mean,
do it. Let's."
Gator
come
said
into
he
the game."
wants to face Anubis, he wants to beat Anubis.
Exactly.
And let's see if this is gonna happen in the regional finals. But like for the next and final match, we have 911 versus REH Gaming. Now REH Gaming, that job is way easier. They just want to get one set. In this game, and then like the whole qualifying to the regional finals thing is settled for them. So like 911, it's a team that you cannot underestimate as REH Gaming. Like they give a lot of fights. Even we got some people saying that Hunt said that I think 911 will qualify from this group. So like it's a team that you cannot underestimate. That they have some pretty good players. Like Penguin kept talking about Lucia a lot yesterday. So talk to me more about this first.
I mean, speaking about 911 as a Lucia Omega fighter, and we saw, of course, it's a lot of these names that you would see them within the T2, and now you're seeing them in the regional qualifiers. It's tough to see them there, but if Penguin talked about Lucia, and we did see Lucia in previous highlights and previous games, and he's backing his talk and backing the things that he said in the server, so big trust in the boys. But still, when you see it from a perspective of REH Gaming, just one set to, you know, qualify, and it's a double-edged weapon. It's a lot of pressure on REH Gaming, and yet a lot of pressure on 911, because everyone and every team, each team just really want this win for them, you know, to continue and to secure themselves another position. But honestly, speak about Lucia and the KDA that he has. The guy has 1.02 KDA, which is really, really solid. Same goes with Omega. I mean, it can go both teams, man. It can go both teams. And speaking of the other teams, here's REH Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, Laz, Muffin, Rolly, Bone, and Berserk. And yeah, speaking of REH Gaming, you have to speak. We have to talk about Muffin, because like this guy is doing amazing. Like on the sniper for REH Gaming, he got the MVP in the first game. Against TBI, it was a bit rough, but it was rough for the whole team, because like I mean, Rolly in the interview, like he was pretty confident the day before. He said, "I don't want to be treated as an underdog. I can win. We will win all the games." And like against the TBI, they struggled a bit, but like right now against 911, their job should be a bit easier compared to their job against TBI. And the key players, Muffin versus Omega.
Muffin, man, he's super scary. If you see that guy in the server, you have to run with 1.23 KDA. I mean, the guy has a lot of highlights coming with the M4 or even the AK, but we don't want to highlight him without forgetting Omega, which, you know, gave us some good insights about his team, 911, and the things that they can bring into the table. I mean, I don't think it's going to be as close. No, I think it will be as close between REH Gaming and 911. I think that's the game. We might go for a third map. I don't think it will be like the first match, TBI and 999. And speaking about 911, I think we would see sub-base here coming.
Okay, what else other than sub-base? Because like I feel like we might see new compounded this game. Because like if you're
really
911, if you're 911, like you're already out of the tournament, you're coming into this match. You want to mess with REH Gaming a bit and the qualification to the regional finals. So maybe we see new maps. Let's take a look at the map veto to see if we're gonna have a new compound, if we're gonna have some surprises in the veto,
banned,
or we are having the same kind of maps that we're used to. Port is banned by REH Gaming. New Mexico banned by 911, and now the pick of REH Gaming is Eagle Eye. Okay, Eagle Eye like is played a lot.
And sub-base, this coming from 999, 911, sorry. And here's another ban on CANKER. I mean, yes, of course, we did see...
we're having new compounders that decided.
Yeah, I mean, will we reach the decider? Honestly, I'd say yes, knowing that the level is a bit close. 911 and REH Gaming. They are giving the same level. Sub is here, man. And I think 911 can have this map. I think we're going map 3. It just gives map 3.
Okay, let's see. I mean, map 1 is ready. The game is ready. Elfish and Kyle take it there.
Well, let's find out. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this matchup plays out. I think it's going to be a pretty tight one. I'll probably echo the same thoughts as what we got from the desk there. I would maybe give the benefit of the doubt to REH personally, just because I saw a really good game from them against 999, but I was a bit disappointed by their game yesterday against TBI. So I guess we'll just see what we're going to get. Once again, just straight out the gates. We talked about it a lot over the last couple of days. The double sniper setup has been a key factor for REH, and that has already found its mark with Muffin there, having the pick onto Losha. Obviously, Bone taking the other sniper rifle here for REH, and you'll probably see that throughout this entire BL South. Kyle? That's what I was trying to go for.
Yeah, I'm not surprised here. Double TRG meta seems to be the move on Eagle Eye. It's just so much lane control that you've got to be responsible for, but for Weza, he might have a chance here to maybe catch Laz or Muffin through the edge of the smoke. Able to find one, but Muffin right there for the trade, but Omega not ready for Raleigh to be there on the bridge peak now. Lesso going to be spotted out alone on the A bomb side, and a lot of players taking the 1v1 here. But it's not going to work out too well for 911. REH Gaming, though, it's a pretty clean start, especially from Muffin here, hitting these nice early shots.
Yeah, and I think he'll be a big win con for REH if he can continue to bring that kind of level. I mean, that was, I think, a big reason why they were able to get their pretty comfortable dub over 999. And yeah, if he continues that, then it's going to be a tough day at the office for 911. Bone this time, the one getting involved. Okay. We are right back to where we left off. Great flick as well from Bone. Triple kill from him in this round. Triple kill from Muffin in the last round. His TRs are just putting in work.
Yeah, Bone already up to 4 here. Looking for the ace potential on the round. It is still down to a 1v2, though, for Weza, so it has some potential still to go the way of 911 if he can find a way to split these two players up. But I like the call from Muffin, quickly grouping up with his teammate here. Bone able to spawn him on A long as well. Weza knows they're both snipers, so if he can close the distance here, there is still that potential. He can maybe sneak away with the win after all, but Bone has such a difficult angle to clear here. But Weza, good for the first, maybe good for the second. Here it's going to come down to Bone on the corner, but he gets the ace with 2 HP.
Excellent round, though, from Bone. These entries on A, just kind of illegal that he's able to get away with that. Not to mention the fact that he doesn't even take any damage for it. Not the start that 911 wants at all. Weza almost gave them the round, but couldn't get it over the line. And we're back to square one, running it back again. Losha going to try and make that same cross he did in round number 1, and this time he has managed to do so. He's waiting for it, though. Is going to win himself that duel. Very low on HP, but connected the headshot where Losha did not. And so it's another player advantage to start the round off for REH Gaming.
Yeah, really nice way to keep the ball rolling for themselves. Muffin as well, looking for that secondary shot if he can find somebody over towards B. Gets the shot onto Weza. Great way to keep things rolling for REH Gaming. You can see Bone as well starting to work his way through the mid doors, but now the defense going to be spread incredibly thin for the remainder of the round. Really nice flash over the top for Bone to peek doors as well. Takes it down to just 2 players left for 911. Muffin, unfortunately, on the timing there in the B connector, going to be caught off guard, but Laz already pushing into spawn with Bone, able to seal the deal.
Yeah, it's getting cleaner and cleaner, actually, as we go through these rounds. 3-0 lead now for REH. 911 have to find a way to stem this flow pretty quickly, otherwise REH going to run away with this half. Again, early peek out here from Bone is going to work out with that kill on the fighter. Omega trying to hold on to mid. He's got a real handful there, so there's multiple players going in his direction, and you can see how much confidence REH are playing with at the moment. They are just not afraid of 911 at all.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, why would you be? You've got Bone 9-0, Muffin 4-2, and we're only on round number 4, so definitely a lot left to be desired here from 911. We'll see if there's anything more left in the tank on this first map, but right now, REH Gaming in full control of this one. Muffin spots Weza as well. over the top in Berserk right there to seal the deal on a 4th in a row. And honestly, I was expecting this one on paper to be a little bit closer, but so far, REH Gaming having zero trouble.
Yeah. Well, imagine this is going to be attack timeout from 911 because they just need something that's going to change the momentum of this game, even if it is taking a minute and a half out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call here, how they can adapt to it, because a lot of it comes down to they're just not able to contest these snipers. I mean, you've got Bone, who's yet to go down in this one. You've got Muffin continuing to give a lot of trouble over towards that B side of the map, so they really need to find a way to adapt quickly. Otherwise, this could just be a quick momentum steamroller coming out from REH Gaming, but you've got to picture it as them having more to gain in this situation, so there's probably a little bit more of a fire beneath REH Gaming as well, because they know all they have to do is win this series. They're guaranteed that number 2 spot. It doesn't have to be pretty, but a win here guarantees them a spot in the next stage, whereas 911, they're already knocked out here. They may have already lost a little bit of that steam, so for REH Gaming, they just have to keep playing their A game, and they should be able to take this number 2 spot, I think.
Yeah, I tend to agree, for sure. This is looking much more like the REH Gaming that we saw on day 2 of the qualifier as opposed to yesterday. Maybe they're just the kind of team that is able to beat up on the teams that are below them, but struggle against the better teams. And yesterday, obviously having a game against TBI, just pound for pound, not able to match the firepower in that matchup, but a little bit of an easier time, it seems like, this time around. And, it's obviously proving to be a very positive result thus far, but we haven't really seen 911 get going just yet. They had a couple of okay moments over the course of this qualifier, even if they are now kind of out of contention, as they are 0-2. They've been able to take themselves a map yesterday against 999. Did kind of get battered a little bit by TBI, but even did get close on Ankara, so it's not out of the realms of possibility that 911 can sort of recover from this. It's still very early days in this series, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not over just yet. A good tack pause can definitely be a nice way to change the pace and get themselves back into this series, and that's what they need to do here, because REH Gaming, I believe, even if they somehow lost this series, only getting themselves a map I actually think guarantees them, based on round differential, the spot here. So it should be enough to secure it over 999, because they did lose their series 2-0 earlier today. So at that point, I wonder if they maybe lose steam going into a map 2 situation once they feel like they are set and secure in that number 2 spot. But for 911, this is also just one of those experiences, win or lose, it's a good chance for them to play against a team that's, on the cusp of being in that lower end of CFWL standing in the future, I think. So for them, it's just a good rep to maybe prove themselves and show what they can do in the future, since that's kind of what this tournament is for. It's, the proving ground of kind of that tier 2 in the EUMENA scene.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is going to be the case, but the other day, yesterday, or the day before, maybe it was yesterday, I can't remember, it all blends into one. But any time that we had a tack timeout, then we had a very, very long delay because of tech issues as well. Doesn't sound like that's going to be the concern here, but they're back into the swing of things. 4-0 the score here for REH. See what they have cooked up after this tack timeout from 911, and it looks like more of the same as have the opening kick onto Westo. They've got to try and deal with Fighter here, who somehow has not gone down just yet. He is getting away with too much. Muffin can't get it done. Better set up this time from 911, and they do win their first round of the series.
Yeah, really good hold there from Fighter on the windows and making sure that those trades couldn't come down. REH Gaming, though, a little bit of hesitation onto that fight with Omega cost them a lot for Fighter to hold on to that position and grab himself a 3. And this time around, Weza as well goes for the wide peak, able to find the first kill onto Laz. So whatever was said here during the tack pause might have actually paid off for 911 so far. They've been looking good ever since it, but now they've got to show they can start to build that momentum earlier on here in this half. They need themselves at least 2 or 3 rounds before there's another on the board from REH Gaming if they want to feel like they've got a fighting chance here, because REH Gaming, they're one of those teams, the second you let them get rolling again, it's going to be very hard to shut them down.
Well, Bone, again, presenting that opener for his team. Will peg one back, but one plant goes down in the meanwhile, so look, it's a player disadvantage for REH, but they've been able to at least get that plant down, and look at all the space they've got. In particular, making this round a very winnable one. Fighter not expecting a player that far progress, so Muffin will take him out, and Berserk with a nice 2-player spray down. Will be the end of round number 6, as REH are going to go up to 5, and yeah, I mean, I guess 9-1-1, they got themselves 1 round, but that's definitely not going to be enough.
Yeah, that round there was one they really needed to win. They had a 4-on-3 advantage, just let it slip, and that's where REH Gaming are really showing what they can do here. Even without the numbers, being able to string together these rounds is going to be so important for them to keep this momentum on their side. This time around, though, could be a little bit of a trap setup here on the A bomb site. You've got Omega tucked away, playing the corner box with Fighter on the top of site, but REH's just going to go for the full smoke flash execute here, so Omega still has to be careful in this position to try and hang on.
Berserk starting to get involved now as well. That rifle presence coming into play for REH. So allowing the first player pass, but Fighter well aware that there was someone coming in his direction. So now it's down to Bone and Muffin, the 2 snipers, to get this one done. They've been so good. They might be able to. C4 though dropped. Losha in transition.
Yeah, for Losha, this one's kind of all about the retake positioning here. I'm surprised he's actually going all the way around to wrap through B, knowing the C4 was downed early on here, but Bone also a really patient player in these 1v1 situations, and Losha, he's actually just going to double down and hope that the rotation comes over towards this B bomb site. I'm not sure if this is going to be the right play call, though, because the second that C4 gets planted, he might be a little bit out of position here, but you can tell he's starting to get a hint of what he might need to do in this situation, getting an early reposition towards the GR spawn, but Bone still going to have that positional advantage here.
Losha has been able to take quite a bit of space. Bone's not spotted him yet. Oh, headshot needed to come through there. Now Bone favored, although might get forced to take the peek. Oh, swinging up onto the side with the pistol. Can't get it done. I thought he wasn't going to get there in time. Bit of a worrisome moment, but 911 will take the clutch there, courtesy of Losha, just to try and continue hanging in here on Eagle Eye.
Yeah, really close one there. Unfortunately for Bone, the bomb plant not super good for his positioning choice there. So we'll see if this is enough to get things turning around for 911, but it is still a 5-2 lead for REH Gaming. If they can make it a 7-2 half, they're still in the driver's seat of this one. But if you allow 911 to get a little bit closer here, they've got that chance after all. Weza again finding the opener in this round. This time it's on to Raleigh just outside of B, and now they can kind of hang back and wait for this push to come through. You can see Weza repositioning for a hopeful pick towards the tower, but Omega and Wesso, I'm liking the setup here on A long as well, playing the nice little bait and switch here towards that A long. Muffin looking for the peek over the top, but Omega starting to overextend just a little bit here. Has to be careful, but Muffin not ready for that swing.
Transition coming through from REH into the direction of B. They are going to need a kill, and they're not getting them. Weza shutting it down really nicely. A third for 911. So there are some inroads being made here on that GR side by 911. By and large, REH have still look like the better team. We'll see how this final round of the half actually goes. The 6-3 is a far cry from a 5-4, and 911 trying to take matters into their own hands. Get aggressive in this round, down through mid, out of B as well. The exchange is good. 911. Right, they're going to go to 4. And considering the way that this match started, that is a really solid result.
Yeah, not a bad way to close out this half at all, unless Bone can somehow pull a bit of a miracle here, but it's not going to happen this time. It's only a one-round half, considering this was at one point a 4-0 at that pause. It's going to make them rethink things a little bit, I think, here for REH Gaming. They had a massive lead and have started to let it slip here. Thankfully for them, though, they are going to be switching sides, so hopefully a chance to reset and give themselves a chance to play this one a little bit more collected. But you got to hand it to a couple of the players on the 911 side, especially, I think, Wessa really stepping it up in those late rounds.
I think Ray just also kind of cooling off a little bit, and you sort of wonder, I guess, with the games that I've seen of Ray so far in this qual, they are a bit of a live by the sword, die by the sword kind of a team, right? They're running these sorts of setups where, you know, if someone like Bone is able to walk out on A and get 3 kills, yeah, fantastic. But if he does that and he just dies, then all of a sudden your team's in a pretty rough spot, because he's kind of making those solo pushes and solo peaks. And so I don't know if there's so much structure necessarily that Ray's going to fall back on that BL side. GR side, I thought actually did look quite good for them a couple of days ago. We'll see how things do swap when we do jump over to that second half. Particularly with that double sniper setup, I think, you know, again, it does set you up nicely if you have both of those snipers firing on the GR side.
Yeah, a lot of this is going to come down to where they decide to position Muffin and Bone, I think, on the GR side, especially which one of those players is going to take on this B-long fighting position. That seems to be one of the main keys pretty consistently here on this map, is who can win this contest over towards the B bridge. And this time it's going to be actually Berserk and Laz pushing out, while Muffin just holds a bit of a deep angle actually on A, Bone holding the deep angle on B. This time, though, they don't see anything on the aggression. They're going to have Laz extend out a little bit, but the rest of the team starting to stack here towards the A bomb site. So a bit of a gamble here coming through from REH Gaming, but could be the right call. The bomb is currently leaning in that direction.
Well, it is a much more patient approach from 911 on the BL side here than what we got from Ray. Which isn't really saying much, because Ray kind of just held W key everywhere. So even just taking 30, 40 seconds at the start of the round to compose yourself would mean it is a bit more of a reserved approach. But here comes 911. Smokes up. Can't really see too much until they push their way through, and then as soon as they do, he's good for 1. No more, though. It's a bit of a mess here, actually, on the hold. It's a good start to the round for 911. They do find themselves in a 2-on-1. C4 needs to be retrieved here by Weza. That won't be difficult. And Laz with an important clutch to keep Ray with their noses in front.
Yeah, this one's going to be a bit tough. They've already got Weza on the spot. May have seen Laz here as well. They know exactly where he is now after the drop down from Wesso. It's all about the timing here for Laz. Can he find a way to get the isolated 1v1s here? He wants to take this fight alone onto Weza, but it's not going to matter. The M14 a little bit stronger through the windows here to get the job done, and just like that, we've got a tie again.
Yeah, it's a massive credit to 911. I didn't think that they were going to be able to bring this kind of play to the table after the start that we saw, but it's kind of starting to feel like 911 might be the team to beat in this matchup, actually. A very good recovery for them. Work their way through this BL side. Let's see how that goes. Laz is holding forward at Hotel, and he's about to be pressured by a couple of players.
Yeah, right now it's really going to come down to Laz in this position, trying to get at least a couple when the push comes through. Losha and Weza ready to take the peek right onto him. A couple other players sneaking underneath as well. Bone on the backside, but they're not going to be able to hang on for too long. Bone overwhelmed as well on the B stairs. Berserk not really there in time to help with much of a trade. Goes for the late swing, though. Takes down 1. Fighter and Weza, though, still trying to hang on here, but Berserk actually have a chance to lock this down. Good for 2, but he has to do it all himself now. It's already a 1-on-3 situation. The reload timing not going to be ideal, and 911 deep into this one take the lead for the first time.
Yeah. Ooh, attack timeout going to be called here by Ray. Very early in the half. They want to make sure that this doesn't get too out of hand, and that's fair enough, but I actually start to question whether or not this has already gotten out of hand. I feel like you've kind of given 911 more than enough rope to hang you with, and Ray, they're going to need an instant response. Oh, it's not attack timeout. Okay, never mind. 30 seconds of nothing happening in this round, and so fair enough, we were looking at the replays instead. Ollie going to try and push down A and get a bit of info. He doesn't spot anything out just yet, but his timing is not looking too bad. Nobody watching for his position at all. That is a massive error from 911 that they don't have anybody keeping an eye on that. He walks away with a freebie. Now Omega looking for the fight in middle. Will get it onto Bone. Continues to go forward. Weza also winning a duel against Berserk, even despite losing the opening player. 911 looking threatening in this round. Laz should be dealt with, and is, again, a little bit messy there, but job done by 911, and they will be able to get the plan in just a second.
Yeah, right now Weza has to be careful, but he gets the kill anyways onto Raleigh, even with 9 HP left to work with. So Muffin, a bit of a predicament here, 1-on-2. Not a whole lot of control to work with as well. Weza and Fighter doing a good job of keeping themselves close by each other to try and get this one, but Fighter, the timing couldn't be worse there on the peak into B long. Weza on 9 HP. Muffin knows all he needs to do is rush in with the pistol, and he's going to get it done. 4 HP to his name, but the 1v2 going to be massive for REH Gaming to take away.
Very close affair. 6-6 for REH, and that will be something they can use to breathe a bit of a sigh of relief. It gives them a little bit more room to work with. I think if Laz was traded out a little bit cleaner here, it would have been a different story, but it took a bit too much to take him down, and that's where you felt that the round did start to shift back in the favor of REH enough that they were able to close it out. So again, we run it back, 9-1-1. Slow on the BL side here to kick things off. Round number 13.
Yeah, a bit of a change of pace here. They're just going to be kind of hanging out towards A long. You can see Muffin waiting to see if Fighter maybe takes the bait on this position. He knows a lot of these players like to go for that jump peek onto A long, but this time it's going to be 9-1-1 working their way slowly back towards the B bomb side. This is where it's really just going to be up to Laz on this anchor position, along with Bone just holding the bridge cross. He's got a nice little angle onto it. I like this change up as well, not having anybody in that hotel bar. They haven't had a lot of success there, so they're hoping maybe this late entry position could be to their advantage.
Again, patience a virtue for 9-1-1. They do look toward that B site. We've still got Wesso kind of floating around to see if he can force anything through here, but he's going to be picked off by Rolly, who doesn't see anything happening over at A. These guys on B will be well prepared for the offensive that's coming. Laz, Bone, the ones to strike. They find a double off of Bone. And even despite you get the same from Losha, it's still numbers disadvantage. Even with the trade from Fighter, he has to get the 1v2 and he can't quite. Ollie will finish it by the barest of margins. Again, REH are through another round.
Yeah, I mean, right now these rounds are incredibly close here. REH Gaming just barely scraping by in the clutch here to get themselves across the line, and it's still no clear winner in mind just yet for this one. 9-1-1 though. They're starting to feel the heat a little bit more in this second half. REH Gaming winning a nice couple of rounds here to get themselves back in front. Now they're 3 away from a victory on this map as well. Muffin sneaking into the mid doors could also cause some trouble here. Almost gets the shot onto Fighter, but Weza with the repeat able to shut him down.
And that's going to be a cause for concern, certainly, for REH, as they will now just have to concede the A defense a little bit and bring Rolly back over to mid. Have a little bit of a look there, which, as you can see, REH are going to take advantage of. They're charging their way forward. Rolly's back quickly, though. Stuck in a bit of a crossfire. Wesso going to be a problem for him, and is, in the end, going to be able to finish him off. That A defense being brought apart by 9-1-1. They're making this close as Laz comes in for the flank and putting in work. Needs to win himself a 1v2. prevent 911 from equalizing the numbers, but we're back up to 7-7.
Yeah, this one's going to be a little bit tougher now for REH Gaming. A lot of these rounds, though, coming down to the 1v1s, the 1v2s, still really anybody's to take away at this point. But Laz, this time, getting into some trouble early on, has to be careful. Omega, though, misses the shot. Unfortunate timing there. But for Laz, it's the early lead for REH Gaming on the round. Now they've got the 5-on-4 to work with. They can back off a little bit more. And for 911, this is where I want to see the difference in this team. They haven't been quite as good in the numbers down situations as what we've seen from REH Gaming, but now that they have the chance to maybe change that around, but just as I say that, Muffin, he's right there on top A to make sure it's not going to go south.
Big push out here from Rolly. He's trying to make matters even worse for REH, or rather for 911, and he has been able to do that. So Weza and Wesso, I mean, they're up the creek without a paddle here. Not being given too much by REH. You've got Bone just watching that line in case Weza pushes out. Berserk will swing for the trade if necessary. Good setup. Heavy lean over on the A side of the map because Rolly's not seeing anything at B.
Yeah, on top of that, Raleigh didn't even realize, but he killed the bomb carrier as well. So the bomb carrier dropped over towards B long. And this is where it's going to be even harder of a round to win here because 911, they don't even have any chance at easily grabbing this bomb with Raleigh in position there. They have to double back just to think about even touching that position, but it's not going to matter too much if Muffin can hold on here. Finds the first, finds the second on the A-long players. And REH Gaming, they are back out in front, but as we've seen, this has been a lot of back and forth.
It has. And to be honest, I'm kind of watching this and I'm thinking, I don't have any faith that either of these teams are going to be able to close Subbase out. You know, if you, let's say REH finishes the win here on Eagle Eye, I don't think that they've done enough to say cleanly, oh yeah, they should be able to get a 2-0. I think this is just going to be one of those series where we kind of have to keep watching and waiting, seeing how it's going to go. This round looking very good though for REH, as Omega finds himself in a real spot of bother. He does at least get that kill on the Berserk. And Laz goes down in middle, but in the meanwhile, they do end up losing Omega, so a replay alive situation once again for REH, and now they're on to map point.
Yeah, they've got a chance to do it here. They've shown a lot of potential on these holds. They look like the slightly stronger team overall, but I feel like with REH Gaming, the second I start to feel confident in them, the switch flips back on from 911 to get themselves right back into this game. So this is where REH Gaming have to show they can keep that switch off here in this final potential round, and it's already given them a lot of map control to work with. Berserk is actually sneaking all the way up towards B long here. He has to be careful though. Losha's holding the other side of this angle. Berserk's not going to check the corner, and he's going to be punished completely on that one, and that is the bait and switch they were looking for 911. Now they've got the push play countered, and they can work with the numbers.
Well, Laz is still holding forward at Hotel. Hoping for his opportunity to equalize the numbers. His position now known, though he gives a grenade back to Losha. Bit of a tickle there. I can't believe he's hanging on alone on his own here. Like, this is a risk, I suppose. Bone starting to come across. The forward hold actually may still be playable here for REH if they can set up that crossfire. Timing on Bone, important. Laz tucked in the corner. They know they haven't dug out Hotel. They haven't cleared that, so they're going to make sure they do. Intelligent play from 911. And this should well and truly be their round.
Yeah, not really much Raleigh can do here. 1v5. He's taken down by Fighter, and we move one step closer to the potential of overtime between these teams. And with how even this is felt, it wouldn't surprise me to see it go the full distance. But REH Gaming, I feel like they've been the team with more opportunities to win this matchup so far on this first map, and they might still have a chance to close it in regulation after all. You can see Laz once again playing that forward position in the B Hotel, has a chance to take the 1v2 here against Omega and Fighter, who are slowly sneaking their way into that position. Wesso as well, starting to take some space over towards A long, but the C4 still in the hands of Weza, who's just patiently holding on to the mid double doors. But I like this reposition this time around from REH Gaming. They've got 3 players ready to support this B fight if it happens to go there, but you can see 911 getting a pretty good read on the situation and starting to regroup towards mid and A.
Yeah, what concerns me, of course, is that the map's kind of getting cut in half at the moment by 911, so if/when REH do inevitably have to rotate their way back over to A here, they're going to have to go through a bit of a gauntlet. All that util getting tossed in as well by 911 should be indicating what's happening, but I don't see this A defense holding up. Certainly not now that that initial player has gone down. Rolly trying to hide in the smoke. It's not worked out. And a 3-on-5 for the retake, essentially, on A is not a fun place to be. They do at least get that kill back onto Weza, which brings it down to 4. But, yeah, I mean, REH just didn't have anybody in mid, and so that A defense was left super weak as a result.
Yeah, now on the retake, it's going to be do or die here. Laz in the key position. The only player approaching from A long has to be careful of Fighter on the windows, holding it down, but it's going to be Fighter who gets the fight, and that could be enough to seal the deal here. Fighter good for a second. Losha able to take us all the way into overtime here. 911 doing a great job of bringing things back here after what was a 0-4 start for themselves. Ever since that tack pause, this felt like a dead even matchup, and we're going the full distance now.
Yeah, very good recovery from 911. You do have to give them some credit there, but interesting choices made by REH, particularly in that last round. I'm not a huge fan of that setup, giving up mid completely at that stage of the round, particularly if you're not going to take some space elsewhere, right? Like, if you have got 3 players dedicated over towards B, they probably need to actually be, like, pushing into hotel, taking hotel, maybe even going further, so that you know, at least feel like you're getting some info somewhere. But it kind of felt like in that round in particular, they were sort of just flying blind a little bit. They allowed 911 to do what they wanted to, and 911 made the right call, and overwhelming that A bomb site was unrecoverable for REH. So, yeah, a bit of a fall from grace from REH after the first match that I saw them play, where I really thought that they were looking like a pretty good, solid squad, but now very much having some trouble against 911.
Yeah, this is where things can get a little bit interesting here, because 911, if they somehow were to 2-0 this series, maybe there's a chance they could finish at least 3rd place in the group after all, which would be a good way for them to close it out. But at the same time, for REH Gaming, they've got to know they've got a little bit to prove here, knowing they could have a spot in the regional finals in their hands to work with. And so far, not looking like a team that's going to have a whole lot of success there if they can't find a way through this one. So for them, it's going to be a chance to prove themselves here in this overtime situation. So at the moment, it is going to be really up to REH Gaming here, especially on the BL side. Try and get the ball moving here in this overtime half. And you can see a bit of a change from 911 as well. They've got Losha already pushed up outside of B Hotel on a 3-player stack on the A bomb site.
It's funny, isn't it? Just remember how fast REH were playing on the BL side originally. Now they're taking a little bit more of a passive approach, held at bay by some of these smokes. They're going to go through. Berserk getting that entry onto Wesso, and Laz also catching Omega. A double for Berserk on the entry into A, and it seems like maybe this is just a BL-sided matchup. Both teams getting a lot more work done, looking a lot more comfortable on the BL side.
Yeah, I mean, it very well might be a BL side after all, deciding this one out, especially for REH Gaming. That seems to be where they're a little bit more comfortable in this one, and this is where we saw them looking really good at the start of this map as well. This time, it's going to be Bone able to find the first kill of the round, takes down Omega very early. Weza and Losha right on the other side of the B Hotel here. Losha spotted out. Raleigh wants to engage, gets spotted a little early, but it's not going to stop him from going for the swing onto Losha. A huge kill goes the way of REH Gaming, and now Weza, he's stuck in a tight corner here. Berserk coming up from mid as well, but the support somehow there just in time for Fighter and Weza to find a kill apiece. Now you've got Raleigh leading the charge here with Muffin to try and retake control of this B bomb site, but they're going to go ahead and go for the full rotation.
C4, big back up. does Ray do here? Just slow it down by the looks of things. Maybe waiting to see if 911 is going to get aggressive, looking for info, give up another life. Often spots a player. Right, plant goes down, and Muffin, waiting so patiently, does eventually get his opportunity. So that'll be the end of Fighter, which leaves Wesso between a bit of a rock and a hard place. He's got to go for this, but he does not want to take this peak. You can kind of tell. Straight into Muffin's crosshair. Doesn't even have to move it. And that is an 11th now for Ray, who look like they sort of let Eagle Eye slip a little bit, but they're starting to regain control.
Yeah, at this point, it's going to be 911 looking to see how they can shut things down. They don't have attack pause this time around to try and do that with, so it's going to be really up to them to try and fight through the mid-round situations and find a way to make things work. This time, though, Losha pushing up very aggressively towards the B side of the map. Might run into some trouble here. Raleigh looking for that initial entry. He's going to have that support as well of Laz right behind him, but Losha still wants to peek the staircase as well. So a bit of a spread number situation for REH Gaming, but that seems to be what they enjoy here on the BL side, kind of letting everybody individually do their thing, and it usually tends to work out for them in the early round.
Alright, once again, going to try to hit the A site. Not finding those entries just yet. Monoscope's up here, so vision obscured, but doesn't last for very long as Laz just goes charging straight through and deletes a couple of defenders. Weza in a 1v1 duel here against Rolly will go down in mid. So Losha doesn't have much of a chance here in this one at all. That is 11 up. And Ray are really feeling comfortable about things now.
Yeah, honestly, a really good overtime start for them. Let's hope they can close it out here because they've looked so good in the first half. It would be crazy to see them let this slip in a potential golden round situation. So it's going to be up to them to continue things forward strong. But on the other side of things, it's not necessarily over just yet for 911. They have that opportunity still to take this time, recollect their thoughts, and maybe send this one the full distance to get the job done. And of course, Subbase on the way as well could prove to be a potential back in here because this is REH Gaming's map pick after all. So the next one will be the pick of 911. So we'll see if that makes a difference as well. But right now, REH Gaming, it's kind of looking like what we saw at the start here, you know, everybody confident on the entries, not really having any trouble on the execution as well. And that's where I think these guys have the edge. It feels like when they're hitting their peak, currently REH Gaming, I'd say, is the better team at their peak.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Just needing that one round now into the second half of OT. So you'd think they'd be able to knock this one over without it going to golden point. But they are moving to the GR side. On the topic of the map pick coming up here as well. I mean, Ray did have some success on Subbase earlier on. They were able to beat 999 on that, but then they got a bit plastered by TBI yesterday. So it's a hard one to say what level they're going to bring on that map, but obviously with the 12 and 9 scoreline here, at least map 1 you'd think for Ray should be a shoe-in. We'll see if they can get it done nice and easy or if it's going to take a bit of work.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it is going to be a tough situation for 911. They really have to try and find a way to keep their composure, play it one round at a time, and dig deep here to get this one done. But for REH Gaming, all they're looking for is one mistake to get themselves the opportunity to win it, and they might have just found it from Muffin taking down Omega Berserk as well. Good for the 2K on the back of the A bomb site. Now it's all on to Fighter and Losha. It would require a 2v5 to keep themselves in the fight. Make it a 1v4. Fighter good for the first. Fighter good for the second. It's not over just yet. REH Gaming at the finish line. A little bit of a struggle to get there, but they'll find their way through. It'll be an overtime victory on map number 1.
Yeah, took a bit of work, definitely, but nice to see them with the cooler heads prevailing, being able to close it out pretty comfortably once we got into the OT. I think there's definitely something to be said for Ray, maybe letting that one slip a little bit too far given the start that they had, but sometimes that's just what happens, and we'll be able to judge things based on what we get from Subbase as well. Before we get to Subbase, though, we do have to chuck it back to the desk, see what they have to say.
REH Gaming, after a bit of struggling, managed to win the map in the OT. I mean, in the OT it was pretty good, but like before the OT, it's very close between the two teams.
I mean, although I did thought that if we are reaching overtime, it's 100% 12 for 9-1-1. I mean, it does make sense. The game was going back and forth since the start. So once they reached match point, which is 9 points to team REH Gaming, I found it hard for 9-1-1 to come back, and they proved me wrong. With the help of the guys, 9-1-1 managed to, come back into the game, Omega the boys, and reach a good overtime sequence, an overtime scenario. Now, when we speak about the overtime, you have to reach 13 rounds. I didn't expect REH Gaming to find the 13 rounds this close. I mean, it's a bit questionable. Does 9-1-1 choke when we reach overtime, the last rounds? Can they not finish the game for themselves? I mean, what happened in the early game, regardless from the tactical or the technical poses that was taken from 9-1-1, what exactly happened that they could not find the ground to finish the game? Also, with Muffin and Bone, how can you not stop Muffin and Bone? I mean, the same scenario happens over and over again. Let's go from A, make some distraction on the mid, and then focuses on B side. It's the same. Fake side, push the other, and early game was a good early game was an insane early game from Team REH Gaming. And then 9-1-1 slowly came back. Every comeback that happened from 9-1-1, I thought that's it. 9-1-1 will show us the way, will lead, and REH will start to follow. But no, that did not happen. It continued from REH. 4 rounds from REH Gaming, then 2 or 3 rounds from 9-1-1. Now, the breaking point was that match point, or was the overtime that both teams did reach. It's a big question for me how 9-1-1 could not finish the map while they could when it was overtime scenario. Maybe they got a bit unlucky, but what was shown for me is 9-1-1 can't take a lead, a single lead on Team REH Gaming. Never happened.
Yeah, and like most of the rounds, it's very close. It's always like
Exactly.
1 versus 1 at the end of the round, and it's a very close matchup indeed. Like you mentioned, that like for REH Gaming, maybe they struggled a bit to finish off the game, but like when they went to the OT, it was pretty easy for them. I think maybe like the stamina of 9-1-1 ran out, but like 9-1-1, what's impressive for me is that they are taking the matchup very seriously. This is not a team. It doesn't feel like a team that like just got out of the tournament and they have nothing to lose. This feels like a team that like they are fighting to win because like they want to still qualify. They are giving their all. They are taking their pauses. They are taking like their time to
super appreciate it.
It's really really good picture to show from 9-1-1. And for REH Gaming, like just to clarify for the viewers, REH Gaming right now they are officially qualified to the regional finals because like now they have 3 sets and 999 they have 2 sets. So like REH Gaming, they already qualified. They should go to map 2 with like an ease of mind compared to the first map. Especially like the first map, it was a very very long fight, and like you said, Bone and Muffin, they had an amazing game.
And honestly, I thought after the continuous win streak from Team REH Gaming that 9-1-1 isn't taking this game any serious because their chances are slim. They are a bit out of the competition. But no, I actually saw Lucia that Pinguin and you mentioned, and was also doing the impossible. Giving more and more rounds and giving REH Gaming a hard time in coming back into the game. I think once or twice they had a lead on the other game. Now REH Gaming did wake up at the last few rounds and said, hey, we're losing, we can't be losing. We just need this certain specific map to, accomplish our qualification and achieve it. And that's what happened with REH Gaming. Now, I loved how Bone and Muffin, both of these guys, manage to wake up, because it's like an engine, no? And once this engine start to run and start to, you know, take over, all Rolly, Laz, Versix, and all of the boys just, you know, get into the flow and feel the game more and more. Thing is with 911, I just want to see them play the next game or the next map just like they played the first one, but just with a little more focus how to end the game. I think that's the big problem with Team 911.
Yeah, and like I keep in mind like the first map, it was like REH Gaming's pick, like map pick, right? And like they struggled a lot. 911 gave a very, very good fight. And now we're going to sub base, which is 911 pick, and like they performed really well on this map. So like, do you expect the same level of like of closeness between the two teams, or do you think 911 now they are like in their playground, in their map pick, so we're gonna see more like let's say advantage or like a lean on toward 911?
I mean, you need to remember that if 911 this is their map, you need to remember that REH Gaming now have zero pressure on them. And all of the pressure is on 911, that they need to prove themselves on the map. So it's, you can look at it from two different perspectives, but I'll go with the later, because for REH Gaming, for 911, I think they will take us to map 3, just to put a statement, a clear statement saying that we can and we will, reach a map 3 and get us the victory. Their chances, as you said and as I said, and as all the viewers know, are slim, almost not there to qualify or continue the competition, and yet they showed us heart and they showed us a great game. REH Gaming can take over. I don't know, man. It's all about 911. Do they really want to take us to map 3 or no?
Yeah, do you think it's a 2-0?
Me, yes.
Okay,
for me,
well,
yes.
Let's see. But potentially one last time tonight. Let's go to Elfish and Kat to take us to map 2.
Yeah, let's find out. Look, for me, I think there's definitely a bit of a weight off the shoulders now of REH, like as the analysts have discussed with that qualification coming through. They can just sort of play a bit freer here. I mean, Subbase, I think, is definitely a map that we can see them put in some work on, and they're going to start things off here on the BL side. So I might give REH the benefit of the doubt here and say a 2-0 for me.
Yeah, I think so as well. They're the team that knows how to come out strong on the BL side. They've got it again here to kick off this map, so we'll see if they can get the ball rolling in the same way, but definitely a bit of an even number situation here, at least at the start. But Berserk, he's got the timing here to cause some trouble. Whiffs the shots onto Omega, though. Allows Weza a chance to get the two-piece on the rotation, and unfortunately, it kind of just falls apart here for them. A bit of a tough start now.
Yeah, just ran out of bullets with the spray, and then couldn't hit the shots with the pistol. In the meanwhile, his two teammates went down. He was kind of cooked at that point, so looked like a good start for REH, but not going to be the case here anymore. 911 back with a vengeance, it would seem, on Subbase. They are just deleting REH in this round, and that one barely even worth mentioning. Less than 30 seconds. 2-0 scoreline now for 911.
Yeah. Bit of a tough go of it so far for REH Gaming. They saw the qualification status, and maybe things just got a little bit too relaxed in the couple of rounds here at the start. It's time for them to, though, change the pace and maybe show us what they can do differently to get things back in their hands. We've seen them able to turn it around quickly before, so wouldn't be a surprise to see that start happening again here, but they definitely need to be a little bit more calculated on the approach in this round if they want to take it away, because 911 is showing they're not ready to go down without a fight in this series. And Weza good for a double kill, making a triple kill on the entry, completely obliterating that push through wood.
Yeah, REH need to find a way to change things up here, and they need to do it pretty quick because things are not looking too comfy for them at all on Subbase. 911 have really found a second win. That, though, is an interesting peek from Fighter. He gives another chance over to Muffin to have another crack at him. And so we go from a 5-on-3, or a 5-on-2 even, to now a 2-on-2. Stop peeking Muffin, would be my advice.
Hopefully they'll take it here, but Raleigh, unfortunately, not going to be ready for that timing. So Muffin, he's going to have to do it all in this round. On top of it, the C4 is down as well in the hands of Weza, who's currently 8-0, just 3 rounds into this one. He's been on a bit of a tear so far. making it extremely difficult for REH Gaming. But if anyone could do it, Muffin has been kind of the star player of the day for REH Gaming, so we'll see if he's up to the task here. But Weza, he's got such a difficult spot to clear out, just playing that top of A position right underneath the vents, and with only 40 seconds, Muffin has to take so much map control and can clear all this space, but not very quickly. So it is going to be a tough one in terms of time to work with. He has to move a little bit faster here if he wants to take this solo fight on to Weza. It's going to come down to the quick scope opportunity, but he misses it. Down to 14 HP. Weza should have full control over how this one plays out. Makes the smart decision, though, calls for the support, and you'll love to see it here. An easy 2v1 to seal the deal.
And 911 just keep on rolling, although a little bit of a mishap in that round. We brought it back for REH. Still no timeout just yet from REH, but if they lose another one or two here in a row, I'd say we'll probably get that. And it does seem like they might actually, because again, 911 want to be on the front foot, taking that fight to REH. Rolly was able to get the trade, but they've lost machine room control. Laz behind the box here needs to be a little careful about his positioning. He's going to go through and give a bit of a tickle to Laz and Rolly. But REH have been allowed to walk out A. So if they can get the C4 here, they are in a pretty reasonable position. Omega, too late to the party. Bone will shut him down.
Yeah, for the moment, REH has the advantage to potentially grab their first round here. They've got the utility as well to really stall this one out. Weza down to 14 HP up here on the top of site. Has to be really careful not to go down too early. You can see Fighter quickly moving into position to fight for the flank, but Laz is already on patrol here, catches him on the position, able to counter flash and just play the time. There's only 15 seconds to get this defuse now, and they are running out of options. REH Gaming just able to swing their way through and finally put their first round on the board, and this is where 911 have to show that they aren't going to let that momentum slip, because up until that point, they looked unstoppable on this map, but now REH Gaming, they have their way back in.
Yeah, this is kind of the same scenario that we saw in the first map, although the roles are reversed. It was REH that got off to a good start, and then 911 fought their way back in. Now it's 911 that got off to a good start, and REH trying to work their way back in. That's a good shot from Fighter as Laz goes down. We're doing the same to Weza from Lockers. C4 is at B. On the B side of the map, that's a kill from Rolly. And he's going to get helped out by Berserk for that fight into jail. Weza going down. This one looking a little bit more cool, calm, and collected from REH, even despite losing the opening player. Got a bomb plant, and they have a 3-on-2 lead.
Fighter, though, doing his best to try and break through, but Bone able to get it done here for REH Gaming. 2 on the board now with a nice little push through to the B-bomb side. So for 911, they did a lot of early building for themselves, but REH Gaming is already in a position to counteract that quickly. But Fighter continuing to hold strong here, gets the early fight onto Bone. Able to win it there over towards B, but the C4 to be dropped outside of A long here. And look at this forward pressure towards A. They really want to take the fight to them, but for some reason, Gaming just playing this one very passive compared to these last couple of rounds.
Want to take the fight to REH, and that's going to work out. Weza with a big spray, gets 3. Just to remind REH who's on top in this map. Bit of a comeback being developed by REH, but instantly shut down.
Yeah, this time it's going to be Losha looking for the control play on B. Oh my goodness, they walk right past him. Thankfully, it's only going to cost them a single kill, though. That could have been a lot worse had he gone unchecked longer. So, REH Gaming, they've got the control right back into their hands. This time, Weza not going to be able to be the hero the team needed. And REH Gaming take it down to just a single round again. But it just goes to show you that little bit of patience can give you a miracle worth of difference if Losha can be a little bit safer on it. But no safety in this round. He just goes swinging into the B control room, able to find himself 2 kills. Weza there to grab the third, and Muffin, he's the one you've got to look out for now in this situation. He's good at isolating these kills along with Bone, so Wouldn't say this one's over just yet.
Oh, these guys just have no chill, hey. Every round, it's like balls to the walls on both sides. As you say, now Muffin is alone. Not feeling too confident about moving through this smoke. So he's going to wait it out. See if he's given anything, but I like the way that 911 are playing this, just sort of grouping together essentially as 3. Got all the avenues of attack covered on A. Obviously, Muffin will be given a plant on B, but that's not the end of the world. Trying to retake 3-on-1 is not the scariest of situations to be in. You'd have to do a lot wrong from here still to lose this round as 911. I think it's okay to give the plant.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the worst decision here. It's really about how they're going to approach this retake. If they go into the cage one by one, they might actually meet their maker here with how good Muffin is on holding this retake position. So this is where they have to make sure they can just take space quickly as a team. And that first player jumping, Weza, making the smart call of making sure they're able to get past him safely on that corner angle. That'll give them a nice smooth retake here. More importantly, it secures the half on top of it. And you can see REH Gaming leaving the lobby, which means it is going to be probably attack pause coming out at the 5-3 scoreline.
It's an interesting time for attack pause because it does mean you're basically putting all of your eggs in this one basket, right? You're using this tack timeout to essentially just get one round. I would prefer to see it called a little bit earlier there to see if they can, you know, swindle another couple maybe and still come away with a lead in the first half, which is what you'd be hoping for or expecting for the BL side of Subbase. But just leaving it to the last minute. So best case scenario now, a 4-5 deficit for REH on Subbase. And their chances of closing this series out 2-0 are starting to look a little grim.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it doesn't seem too likely they're going to have an easy go at the 2-0. It's not over just yet. We saw what they were able to do in that overtime on Eagle Eye, so it still gives me a little bit of confidence they might be able to close this one out 2-0 after all, but it just seems like right now they're not always prepared for the scrappy play style that 911 is throwing their way. You have a lot of those B control room pushes, and on top of that, Weza just being aggressive over A long is making it extremely difficult for them to feel comfortable on this map. But that's where I'm really curious to see what 911 will actually do when we get to the side swap here, because that's where I doubt them a little bit more. They seem really good at being proactive on the GR side, but the BL side I think is going to be a little bit trickier for them on this map.
I would agree. See how this last round of the half goes. Bone opens the account quite nicely. He continues to look for more. Surely he saw those players pushing forward as well. They have to be aware and prepared for the aggression of Wood. Sending the C4 forward in Rolly's hands. Muffin alongside him will clear out Fighter together. So great start to the round for REH. They should just accelerate toward the B bomb site. They will again be aware that there was aggression out in Wood. There's probably only maybe one player over toward B. They'll be proven correct in that assumption, and they'll be able to walk on in. So Muffin taking that C4 for the plant. They should be getting a fourth here, which is definitely a half that they can play from. Bone's gone a little bit early. Muffin, though, with a break onto Wesso, still maintains a significant enough lead in this round that they indeed will get themselves a fourth round out of the first half. Not sure that makes me too confident that they're going to close this out 2-0, but it's definitely, yeah, a position, like I said, that they can play from going into the second.
Yeah, it's definitely a step in the right direction here for REH Gaming, but now they've got to show what they can do when it comes to the side swap here, and that's where it's all going to be on the line for both teams, especially 911, considering this is kind of their last chance. They can't find a way through to a map 3, so I'm liking what we're seeing, though, in terms of the mid-round change-up here. Muffin getting a little bit more aggressive when he needs to find those ways to counteract losing the early fights. And then you've got Raleigh and Laz starting to step up, I think, as well, with those secondary entry positions. So at this point, REH Gaming, they're doing what they need to fight back. It was a bit of a shaky start, but it's kind of similar to what we saw in Eagle Eye. One team, it's an early confident lead, but it's quickly shattered by these teams just being really well matched with each other.
Okay, that's a good start from Bone. again, you're going to have that double TRG set up for Ray. Omega needs to be traded there. Looks like Muffin might have missed a shot, and the B site will be overwhelmed. It was such a good start for Ray, but they all missed their shots on the B defense, and so Laz finished off as well. What happened here? I think Muffin just missed the trade shot onto Omega, and Bone was caught in transition. So pace on the outset gives 911 their 6th round.
Yeah, really good stuff on the attack from them, especially Omega. That fearlessness to push through right away and make sure he could grab the double before going down. Absolutely massive to getting that first round of the half, and it adds that much more pressure now onto REH Gaming to get something done themselves here in this 11th round. It is going to be a bit of a spread out play as well from 911 in this one, sending Losha slowly but surely towards the vent position. The rest of the team starting to group up though towards A long. It could be a split up the wood lobby towards this top A fight position, but Muffin, he spots a couple of them out on the side here, and the counter boost and vent for Raleigh is already in position, but Raleigh, the timing just barely looks away at the wrong moment, and now again 911, the explosive play works perfectly. Laz, not a whole lot he can do here. He is stuck in the corner, and Fighter, he's right here and ready to go up against him. That is going to be another clean round for 911.
Yeah, looking pretty good on the BL side. I'd say we're probably, at this stage, going to be getting to see new compound the way things are going. Ray don't have a tack timeout that they can fall back on. I mean, they're not really be given the opportunity either to send themselves to any positive position with these double sniper setups, because the rounds have just been playing out so quickly that they're not really getting the chance to work the picks. This one's slowed down a little. There's a chance that 911 just even decide they want to go through this smoke. You've got a flash ready to go. They are going to make that decision just on the timing as Bone transitions back across to the silo itself, and it ends up being a 1-for-1, which of course allows 911 out onto the site. So finishes off Raleigh. Probably be another round for 911. It doesn't seem like Ray have got a whole lot to display for us on the GR side. We're so down from the vent. One more, and now just 2 players, Laz and Berserk, to try to salvage this retake. They're going solo. Berserk needs to win his duel. He's not been able to land too many shots. Lasha will find him. And that is down to just Laz now, who's running out of time. He's taking his opportunities as they come from the window, but he's got to start to move. 14 seconds, needs to get on that bomb. Good shot out of the USP. Starting to run out of bullets, but it doesn't matter. Headshots everywhere there from Laz, and Ray hanging in there, but only off the back of a clutch. It's not enough to fill you with confidence just yet.
Definitely not, but man, that last shot from Laz was kind of insane over the top of the boxes there at the end to finish it. But yeah, for REH Gaming, I agree. They need a lot more than that to get themselves a map 2 victory, because it has looked shaky at best from this position. So they're still 2 rounds behind the tie as well, and I think a lot of that is also due to some of the stars that we saw on the first map being kind of quiet here. I mean, since the pause, Muffin yet to find a kill with that TRG. Very unlike him in these positions. He's normally the one opening up these rounds and really getting that early impact. If he can step up, this could become a much different game, but you've also got to give the credit here to 911. The way they coordinate quickly on the attack has honestly been pretty spectacular.
Gets overwhelmed, takes too much to handle. And again, it is those TRGs that continue to be the positive aspect for Ray. We're going to go B here. That is a bit more of the heavily defended side. If it was a call to go A immediately, that actually would have worked out. I think Bone was a little bit too late in transition. Now he's going to get caught in transition, but he's not worried about that at all. He's going to win the duel. All of a sudden, Ray starting to look like a bit more of a formidable opponent on this defense. Bone, though, still a bit isolated on A. Got a few players up at the window. Would want to be getting this kill onto Losha alone without having to rely on his teammates. And that's not actually required in the end, because Laz ends up finding an angle. Fighter in from behind, got 1. That is not going to be enough. He's got a bit of work to do, pushing his way forward here. Runs into the crossfire. Ray get themselves back to just a 1-round deficit. So starting to come together a little bit on the GR side now.
Yeah, I mean, right now for Ray, they're finding their way very quickly back into a winning position here. Now just one away from the tie, and they're wasting no time getting aggressive here as well. Both teams throwing out some aggression. This time, though, for 911, it's going to be towards the A side of the map, but they don't seem too confident in actually pushing through. But that was really what was helping them in these early rounds, not being afraid to full commit. Now they're going to go ahead and second guess this one a little bit, double back, and that's where they have to deal with Laz. Already pushed up in the L turn. Berserk as well on control, good for 2. And that is exactly what they needed to kick off this round for REH Gaming. A lot of damage, though, being dealt in the process. Muffin down to half and Laz down to about 10.
Yeah, 911 just in transition. Light up. What about getting himself a pick there now? Interesting that Ray have committed such a defense over on B. They need to actually do something with it. Losha needs to be checked here and will be. So 2 players remaining for 911, but they can walk their way into A. I'm interested to see if they do decide to do that. Are they going to go back over toward B? Muffin goes down to a headshot. Fighter there collected, though. That's the C4. It didn't go forward with Wesso. Rolly's still here taking the fight and gets it done. Luckily, he was the one with a lot of HP, and he had survived. So they are able to equalize, and now it's, again, starting to look like one of those maps where it's just such a 50-50. You don't know which way it's going to go.
Yeah, honestly, a very close one on our hands now, but Ray seem to be slightly favorable, it seems, when the pressure is on, so maybe that will be enough for them to push this one across the line after all. But for 911, it would be kind of a shame to see them let this one slip. They've looked like the stronger team in this map until the last 2 or 3 rounds have played out. Now it seems to be a lot more equal of a playing field. Berserk only going to be good for 1. Laz still in the rafters, though. Play the late trades here. Good for 2 on the drop down. Muffin able to find 1 as well. But Weza, could he do it here? A 1v4 would be absolutely insane, but he's already found himself 2 to make it a little bit easier, but not easy enough. Bone able to push REH Gaming into, I believe, their first lead of the map at an 8-7.
Yeah, I think they actually got the first round, didn't they? They were up 1-0 at one point, so they did have a lead at one point, but not for very long. Yeah, we'll see how this one plays out. It just seems like a second wind has come over Ray here, and that another opener from Muffin is going to start to seal the deal. Bone's getting aggressive. I'm not sure I like this. Weza looking for it, but he will fall as well, and Bone sticking around. Man, it's a 3v5. Back it up, which he inevitably does. And that is going to put the ball in the court of 911, who have to make something happen. Rolly playing an aggressive forward line. I think he might have spotted Omega here. No, maybe he hasn't. Seemed like he was going to push forward and wrap in behind him. This is actually quite scary now for Ray, that Omega's been able to push forward like this. He is going to be the X factor. But it doesn't really look like he's got anyone that he can pick off. And C4 still has to come across in transition, so maybe Omega has to come back up the stairs to fight for wood. You can't be letting Losha fight this cross on his own. This is bad. That's really not good for 911. I mean,
yeah.
Omega will get the trade. They don't know that he was already in A, but you're kind of giving up that X-Factor position. And the timing on this hasn't really worked out. I mean, it's still a 2-on-4 that is possible because there's so much damage that's been done. Bone low, finished off through the wood wall. Spam Berserk. Also going to fall. Omega. Bit of a heart-stopping moment here for the remaining Ray players as Laz goes down now as well. And Muffin in the 1v1. Omega might be able to get this done alone to equalize it at 8-8. He's got no idea where Muffin is.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to the 1v1 here. Both players around 10 HP for the remainder of this one. Omega, though, does have a nade to work with. He's going to go ahead and throw it early on, though, on the rotation. But is he going to check this off angle here? It's going to come down to the wire, but Omega, that is a massive round to hold on to for 911, preventing a match point from being on the table. And for REH Gaming, this was a round they really should have been able to hold on to. They had a 5-on-3 advantage, and Omega, 1-by-1, was able to find himself 3 kills and the round to steal it away.
Yeah, you have to be a bit critical of Laz there, trying to aggress on his own in the 2v1. Gave it back to the 1v1, left Muffin with a bit too much to do, especially considering Muffin is low on HP. It should be the other way around, if anything, right? Muffin should be the one that's looking for the info, maybe trying to find the cheeky timing. If he goes down, you've still got your healthy player to fight, but in the end, didn't work out that way, and now we're at 8 apiece. This is still anybody's map. Muffin with the spam shot through the smoke gets the better of Weza. Here comes the push into the site. Omega could fall one only as he does fall. The transition there into jail. Muffin's got control of the C4. Bone in here as well will lose his life. This round could go the way of 911 unless Muffin pulls off a miracle. He gets a kill onto Wesso, and now Fighter. His position known, but the shot not through. And it will be OT required from Ray if they want to win this map.
Yeah, very dicey round across the board, but you've got to hand it to Wesso there. That 3K from the middle of sight really being the key to anchoring down this round for 911. But REH Gaming, as we've seen, 9-8 definitely doesn't mean it's over for this team just yet. They were able to win it in overtime on map number 1. The potential to do it yet again here in map number 2. But for 911, all they've got to do is put one up here and now, and we'll be smooth sailing into that third map for a chance at the series. But REH Gaming, they're going to be taking their time, very spread out in this one. It does leave the A bomb site a little bit exposed. It's really just going to be Bone holding onto that position. Raleigh, though, wants to push through, gets proactive on the upper position. Omega not going to be ready for it, gets the reaction with the pistol anyways. And now 911, they've got the advantage in the final round.
Yeah, and it doesn't really look like Ray are going to do anything to try and pull that advantage back there for the moment. Oh, never mind, I've lied. Laz on the push forward. Oh, surely this can't go well. He gets 1, but not 2. So now it's on to Berserk, who tries again to look for 2 and can't. He gets only the 1. Muffin under the pressure, missing the shot. Now Bone in there as well. The TRGs being relied upon, and Muffin again also relied upon in yet another clutch. This one a 1v2. I think he's got a read on Losha's position. That's the C4 drop. Fighter spotted out with the shot being missed by Muffin. Still has this round hanging in the balance, and of course with that, the map as well. It could be a 10-8 for 911 if Fighter can pick this one up. He's been given a lot of room to play by Muffin.
Yeah, this one's going to be extremely tough for Muffin on the retake. No utility to work with. Just has to find the opportunity and the timing to catch him off guard. He's taken so long, though, that Fighter is going to be second-guessing every corner of the map on this retake, but gets the early spot. That's a lot of info to work with, but Fighter is going to be caught on the front line. Muffin, nice little shot on the shoulder, but misses the shot onto the cage. The repeat as well, no good for Muffin, who's been on point all day, but he can't get this final kill to send it into overtime. Fighter looking for the dance of destiny to get it done, but with just a couple of seconds on the clock, Muffin saves the day once again.
Yeah, you can see Muffin really choking it a little bit in those clutches. A couple of instances, missing a lot of shots. Both teams actually really feeling the pressure there in the final 1v1, but we do go to another OT. They were very good in the OT on Eagle Eye, so we'll see how that actually ends up playing out here on Subbase. I mean, I think Ray actually could have closed this one out cleanly if they hadn't thrown away that... Was it a 3v5 or was it a 2v5? The one where Omega had a lot of impact. Either way, that was a round that they definitely should have won and certainly did not. So, a disappointing one for them, as it obviously means that they now have to go through to the OT, but either way, see if they can get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, REH Gaming, I do favor them slightly in these overtime situations. They seem to be the team that is able to win it a little bit more often under the pressure. So with what's at stake here for them, it seems like they would have the advantage. Omega as well under a lot of pressure on this A bottom position. But REH Gaming, they actually don't want to take the fight to him. Instead, it's a double back into the upper A fight, which actually might hurt them here. There's 3 players on the other side of it for 911. They're able to find the first as well. Bone goes down, and REH Gaming, the second guessing here is not working out so well.
So they're just trying to maybe fake a little bit over toward B. Or a rotation out. There has been a pretty significant transition over toward the B side of the map there from 911 with the forces that they've got dedicated in that direction. So Locker's entry has to be clean here from Rolly and Berserk, and it is not. I almost got excited. Fighter. Great though. Shuts it down, but Berserk still getting some work done, and he's going to continue to look for more C4 backup Lockers. I'm surprised that Berserk's going to continue to take this fight. I don't know how he's getting away with that. The fight in middle, going okay. Laz actually gets the better of Wesso, and now Omega spotted out. Ray will win the opening round of the OT.
Yeah, I mean, this round was all Berserk. I mean, really, one by one, they fall to Berserk. He gets himself 4 kills on the opening round here, taking the heavy lifting into his hands and making it work perfectly to put his team in a shot at this 2-0. And now, 911, they're going to be in the same position we saw on Eagle Eye. Immediately, they feel the heat of overtime, and we'll see if this time around they can stand up to it. It's going to be a double vent play, which is a bit curious here. Coming through from REH Gaming, I'm not a huge fan of multiple players going into the vent position. It's not going to work out so far for them. The double drop down immediately spotted by 911.
Yeah, that's a really poor setup for Ray, isn't it? I mean, they don't even have anybody in wood or anything like that that can kind of assist that fight. I don't think that there's a lot that's going to come from that unless you get like almost a perfect timing on the drop, which is really a gamble as far as I'm concerned. So not impressed by that one at all from Ray. Let's see if they can salvage this round somehow. Losha on a bit of an off angle. Should be getting Muffin here. Will be. It's not the kind of line that Muffin with the TRG is going to be pre-aiming.
Yeah, I mean, at this point for Bone, not really much you can do with the C4 down. The collapse is coming through, and that will be it. 10-10, all tied up once again, so already it's looking like a better overtime situation than what we saw on Eagle Eye, but REH Gaming, they're going to be in the hot seat now to see if they can get the job done. It's been a very big back and forth swing here in this matchup, but REH Gaming, they've been a slightly stronger team on the BL side, so you'd have to think this is a must-win round for this team.
Well, Laz, just the sole perpetrator over toward Wood, is going to be forced away. Join the rest of the team. It looks like a B hit. Not a bad round to be doing it in. Fighter, though, posted on a really solid line. Muffin's going to have to hit a cracker of a shot here and can't. Berserk going to go down early. Fighter has the backup. Again, you need to see a little bit more out of Ray. That's a bit too one-dimensional. I mean, where's the pressure coming through from Lockers on the same timing? Bones was a bit too late. Looking for some picks here with TRG of his own and can't get them. Muffin is fighting hard for it, but not going to happen. That BL side, just, yeah, it's really letting Ray down at the moment there. Setups on the BL side need to take a bit of a look, I'd say.
Yeah, this one's going to be a tough one to close out for REH Gaming. It's still looking like 911 could run away with it, but it really all comes down to what they're going to do under the pressure of the second half of overtime to try and close it out. REH Gaming's still looking like that team that is a little bit more confident when it comes to that maximum pressure, but for 911, they definitely have looked better as a whole on this map compared to Eagle Eye, so we'll see if that's indeed enough to get it done, because honestly, this team, they've got the makings of something good here. If they can get a little bit more cohesion across the board with their team, I feel like they might be able to push this one into a series win for themselves, but they just got to be ready for those lurking threats. You've got Muffin and Bone, who are kind of the key anchors for this team, and you've got to show you can shut them down consistently.
I mean, in saying that, Ray were a little better on their GR side. I think both 911 and Ray were, funnily enough, having more success on the GR side of this map than the alternative. Muffin starting off quite nicely with a quick scope there onto Omega. I don't know, I honestly actually feel like this one might end up being a golden round type deal. It's a matchup that just feels like at some point we're going to have a golden round map because it's too close. Both of these maps have gone so far the distance pretty much.
Yeah, I could definitely see this one ending in that golden round situation, especially considering the almost a little bit of choke under the pressure both of these teams have experienced in this matchup so far. This time it is going to be Fighter getting a quick shot onto Laz there to settle the score. Get a nice 4-on-4 situation. 911 starting to set their sights on the A-bomb site. Bone really the only anchor in position. Raleigh on the late rotation into top A might be able to help a little bit here, but Bone still has to be able to connect from this back missile hold, and this is where he's been a bit hit and miss on this second map of the day. He needs to pop off here to hold on. He's going to find the first. He's looking for more here. Misses the repeat onto Wesso, who gets the quick trade. He takes him down. Wesso good for a second as well, and 911 still able to hold an advantage on the push.
Yeah, this will be a very tough retake, especially now that Muffin has allowed 2 players to cross back over to the stairs. And Berserk's probably going to have to deal with them alone. I don't imagine they're going to be giving Muffin a chance. They do, but he misses it. And now he's going to have to push his way forward, deal with Losher, and just hope that Berserk can get it done over toward the stairs. He has pulled that transition across. Berserk hits the headshot onto Wessa. All of a sudden, it's a round for Ray. That is crazy that they're able to pull that off. They were so patient. And big shots being hit, and all of a sudden back to 11-11. So it's still anybody's guess as to where this one's going.
Yeah, I mean, you would have thought surely after the entry here from Wesso set them up perfectly, they wouldn't give the opportunity, but then Muffin hits a crazy quick scope on the back missile, and Berserk does what he does best and just makes sure he gets in quickly and is right there for the trades. So now for REH Gaming, they've got a golden opportunity here to still win this somehow in a 2-0 series if they could, but for 911, they are still trying to play spoiler to that. But this time, it's going to be a much slower pace here at the start of the round, really just holding mid to see if there's going to be any sort of counter aggression coming their way. But with REH Gaming, knowing what's at stake here, they don't have any rounds to play with. There's not a whole lot of risk being felt in this round. Instead, they're going to wait and see what 911 wants to do. And this is where I definitely favor their odds here. The one position they've got to be careful of that they've been exploited from consistently is this L turn on mid. It scares me a lot because they don't really have the best counter utility for it.
Smoke toward lockers here for Ray. Really be at a bit of the pressure there. Berserk might be the first point of contact. But a lot of defenders over towards B, and Muffin somehow just goes down for free. But Laz good again for the trade from high ground. He falls to his death, but 2-on-2 with Fighter being low. It's still favorable for Ray. They finish it off 12-11. They'll have 2 bites at the cherry here to try to close the series off. The first, obviously, in the OT, and then the second in the golden point, should it be required.
Ooh, Muffin though. Just a big start. And this could
doubt as to whether or not it'll be needed.
Yeah, I mean, even with the advantages we've seen, it might be too early to say. They've got this one on the lock, especially with Omega. He's so good at playing these forward off-angle positions that caught REH Gaming a couple times pretty well off guard. And for REH Gaming, they make the right call here, though. Not over-pushing through, just falling back into a passive trade setup to make sure they've got the key positions in place to maybe bring this one to a close in their favor. The big fight here, though, it'll be Omega versus Muffin for the lower A bomb side. Huge kill from Muffin to win that one. Omega goes down, and this is the advantage they were looking for. They've got the 5-on-3. The BL side very spread out, and now it is risk it or go down swinging here for 911.
3v5. I mean, Ray, they fumbled one of these in regulation. Got to make sure they don't fumble it again here. Bone spamming away. That is going to draw the peek through. They're going to think about the opportunity. Laz is there to try to back him up, but Bone's got to hit one of these shots. Oh, he's really under pressure now. He's got that Colt in hand. He knows he's got Wesco stuck in the corner. He does finish that one off. Raleigh coming in behind will finish it. Ray will win the series. They'll get it done 2-0, and it is by the skin of their teeth, might I add. Both the maps having to go into OT, but they do get the job done today.
Yeah, great performance here from REH Gaming, solidifying why they are indeed the second team going through from this group. I'm excited to see what this team can do going into that regional finals, where it's going to be a much fiercer competition, I think, for them to go up against. But at least they showed us in both of these maps, when the pressure is on, they know how to get it done.
Yeah, very nice stuff from them. I think again, you know, the two standouts rather, the two snipers. And well, that'll be all from us today, Kyle. Pretty quick day. We'll hand it back over to the desk to wrap things up.
Thank you, Alfred. Thank you, Kyle. And REH Gaming make sure that they qualify with the full points 2-0.
Yes.
I mean, it was a close series, the same scenario as the first map, going into the OT and finishing off the map. But it was a very, very close matchup, 9-1-1. Like, we have to give them the props that they fought, and they gave us a pretty good match.
True, insane. And again, the thing is, and the breaking point for me is the point that you can't finish the game, so you send them to overtime, hoping that okay, it's overtime now. Now I can, you know, sense the game a bit. And once you reach the overtime, it's a disaster for you.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking here for 9-1-1. I mean, we did see the round that got us into the match point, the overtime, sorry. It was super close between the two of them, but I thought that 9-1-1 player could not recall the name, had a better chance. I mean, the sniper from REH Gaming missed 3 times, man. 3 times he missed. Yes, Muffin, and with the Colt again 2 times. So you had your chances, yet still you chose to, you know, panic over it and lose this 1v1. I thought it was super important for Team 9-1-1 to win the game and then reach another map, the decider one. But thing is, at the end of the day, you chose to go to overtime. And once you go to overtime with REH Gaming, I think it's a long day for you, because REH made it hardly into the overtime, yet they managed to get the win for themselves.
Yeah, and like 9-1-1, they had their chances to finish off like the game, especially at like the 9th round, like I mentioned.
Yes.
It was pretty close. I mean, Muffin missed 2 sniper shots, and like when you are playing against a sniper like Muffin and like he misses 2 sniper shots, you have to take the shot, you have to take the chance, you have to finish off the game, and the result was not that you didn't, and you went to the OT against REH Gaming and ended up with the same scenario as the first map. But 9-1-1 again, like hard luck. They gave us some really good games. Not only this one, by the way. Against like TBI, they had a very close match with them.
The thing is with REH Gaming, though, they have the individuals and the names that you need to clutch any scenario and any position that you need. They have Muffin with them, regardless that what we saw from 9-1-1, from Lucia, who had a big impact, from Fighter, from Wes, and we saw Omega for sure. They did put a show for us, but at the end of the day, you can't stand against the big Muffin that sent us to overtime, and Rolly, Bowen, Laz, and of course, the Berserk.
Yeah, and Muffin, when you need him the most, he shows. Like again, he's the MVP of REH Gaming from the first win, and like this win as well. In this map specifically, like he performed, he showed, and like on the other side, 9-1-1, again, Lucia is still performing really well. Weza had a pretty good game as well. 9-1-1, you can say that they lost this series. They gave a pretty good fight, to be honest, and we wish them the best of luck as a team and individually, like in their next season. And Muffin, again,
of course,
the MVP of the match.
Of course, the guy, you know, forget about the round that he made them to the overtime, the clutch round. Let's talk more about his impact throughout the game. The guy, although the clutch and the continuous streak of winning was coming from team 9-1-1, the guy managed to send them again and again to the lead and to the victorious times. And that's the thing about a certain player or a certain individual that is super talented, that he can, if we lost 3 or 4 rounds, I could show up and give the momentum back to my teammates and give the momentum back to my friends to, you know, show them that I'm here, don't worry, I can clutch for you guys, I can show you the real me, and, you know, we can go back to the lead. The early game, it started with 9-1-1. I think 9-1-1 had the lead till the 7th or the 8th round. And then Muffin showed up with the clutch. Not one time, not 2 times, multiple times, to show you guys that, okay, REH Gaming is still there.
Yeah, I mean, again, Muffin is one of the best player in REH Gaming,
True.
and like one of the best individuals, like in general in this tournament. He's
Yes.
performing really well. He deserves the MVP 100%. And like REH Gaming, Rolly said it in the interview, like we're not the underdogs, we're gonna qualify, and they qualified.
He talked the talk
like,
and walked the walk, man.
Guess what? We have an interview with Rolly once again. So let's go to Rolly from REH Gaming. Once again, congrats on the win and congrats on qualifying to the regional finals. How do you feel?
Thank you. We feel good. We are glad that we made it. Still not 100% happy with the performance, but we made it. That's the important thing.
Yeah, 100%. Can you tell us more about this match against 911? Like, did you expect it to be this close going into OT for 2 maps in a row?
No, but the first map we were like, I think again nervous. It's the reason why I am confident in my team being the best in the group, but we weren't, is because when we bring our A game, we are very, very good, and we couldn't bring our A game. Not at all. Not against 999, especially not against TBI, and not against 911. So that's why it got that close. We knew that they are strong individuals, like especially Omega. I really like how Omega plays, but we have strong individuals too. Did you see
Yes.
Muffin?
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's and Bone also. Like we have 2 sniper who can show up, and the rifles also. Like everybody can show up, and we had to do it because the team play was at some point not working. On Eagle Eye, we were doing good at the beginning, and then later they did a comeback. But not because they played good. We didn't do the pushes we are used to do, like in the practice. When the overtime did start, I said, guys, we need to wake up. We need to do it exactly how we practice it.
Yeah.
Then they have no chance. Then we did it, and they couldn't get around.
They had no chance.
Subbase was a puck game. We were not locked in anymore because we knew we qualified. So it was kind of just...
Of course.
Playing a bit of relief in a way. And like I asked this question to like all the teams that qualified. Like now we are in the regional finals.
Yes.
There are a lot of good teams in the regional finals. Do you have a certain team in mind that you
Tell
want to
us,
play
man.
against as Rolly?
We want to play or we don't want to play?
No, you want to play against?
We want to play. Okay, if I want to win, I will say Entropy. No offense. But I actually want to play against Rock because Rock is by far the best team in CrossFire West right now. Like they're on international base, they are top 3 in my opinion. Even they can beat the Chinese teams. So I want to play against them so we can prove that we also are able to maybe beat them. But of course, there we are the underdogs.
I mean, we hope you guys perform. We hope you guys
Hopefully.
have the best of luck in the regional finals once again.
Good luck,
Thank you,
man.
Rolly, and see you in the regional finals.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
He's confident yet realistic, man.
I mean, I guess Rocky Sports, everyone is underdog, right?
Yeah, you become an underdog when you play against Rocket Esports. And we did see them against the Chinese region teams. When you play against Rocket Esports, it's super close. That means that, yes, you are right, Rolly. Internationally, we can say Rocket Esports are on the top 5 teams
100%.
that came into the CrossFire world. And I think more and more teams will show. And I really loved how confident REH Gaming individuals are. They just feel like they are them.
Yeah, and advanced to the regional finals, EUMENA, PingPongPals, TBI Esports, Entropy Gaming, and REH Gaming. Yeah. These are the 4
As
teams
it should be, you feel
that
like.
qualified from this tournament that we had, and to be honest, they are all very, very good.
Yeah, as it should be, honestly. It shouldn't be anything but this. And the thing is, I'm super excited to see TBI. How are they going to play? I mean, having TBI with us, they didn't have the best chance on the West League. Now we're in a regional finals. You advanced. What can you bring to the table? Same goes for Entropy and Rolly. Same goes for you guys on REH Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, these teams, I'm 100% sure we're going to see some surprises from these teams in the regional finals.
Yes.
But until then, that was it from us in the qualifiers. We hope you guys had fun watching.
Hopefully.
And until next time, have a good rest and have a good night.
See ya.
Bye-bye.